going all the way with Genesis 17, verse 27. This week's Torah portion is Lech, Lecha,
Lecha.
Lecha, which means to go forth.
All right, Zaquan Shabath, Elder Judge Parashah. We'll start off the reading, then we're going to pass it down to the younger men. The first three verses in Ibadiyah, the first aliyah of the Parashah Lecha. وَيَأْمَرْ يَهْوَى al Abaram Lech ma aratiza wa ma malawadatka wa mabayath abayaka al haratiza ashira a ra'aka wa a aishar la gawaya gadwal wa abarakka wa agadla shamka wa yahya baraka wa abaraka ma barak yaka wa makwalalka ar. So I think I'm in, no. Wa, nabarak wa, baka, kal, mashpachath, ma, ha-adama. Salaklia. Mashpachath, ha-adama. All right. Now verses in Ibadiyah. I'm sorry. In English, the verses will be verses 1 through 13. On 15, we're reading from the Stone Edition Kumash, as usual. Hashem Yahweh said unto Abraham, go for yourself from your land, from your relatives, and from your father's house, to the land that I will show you. And I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who curses you, I will curse. And all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you. So Abraham went as Hashem Yahweh had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he left Haran. Abraham took his wife Sarai and Lot, his brother's son, and all their wealth that they had amassed, and the souls they made in Haran. And they left to go to the land of Canaan. And they came to the land of Canaan. Abraham passed into the land as far as the site of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh. The Canaanite was then in the land. Hashem appeared to Abraham and said, to your offspring I will give this land. So he built an altar there to Hashem Yahweh, who appeared to him. From there he relocated to the mountain east of Bethel and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And he built there an altar to Hashem Yahweh, and invoked Hashem Yahweh by name. Then Abraham journeyed on, journeying steadily toward the south. There was a famine in the land, And Abraham descended to Matazadium to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. And it occurred, as he was about to enter Matazadium, Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, "See now, I have known that you are a woman of beautiful appearance. And it shall occur, when the Egyptians will see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me, but you they will let live. Please say that you are my sister, that it may go well with me for your sake, and that I may live on account of you." All right? So just to review this aliyah real quick. So now this Haran where Abraham, where Abram is in the land where we are right now. We're in Turkey right now. And this Haran where Abraham is at is just to the east to where we are now. All right, so we're in that land where Abraham, all right, Sarah, Lot, where all of our forefathers were living at before they got to the land of Canaan, and where they kept going back to get wives. So that's where we are right now, okay? So that's where we are right now. So we did the opposite, you're right. Yahweh said, get up to go from Haran to Canaan, but we left from the west, Babylon, hardcore controlled area, and came back to the east where Abraham started out at. But our journey did take us similar to Abraham's journey, because we left from the west, went to Israel, then came to Turkey. But Abraham left from Turkey, eastern Turkey, and came into the land of Canaan, the land of Israel. And of course, that part of Turkey at that time was being controlled by the Syrians. It wasn't being controlled by the others, controlled by Shemites, which are our relatives through our father Shem. All right. So the Most High told Abraham, "Get from your native land and go to a land that I'm going to show you." So Abraham, the Most High said, "Just get up and go." And that's the same thing that we did to come over to Turkey. We got up and we left. All right, we got up and we left because there was a greater work outside of what we were doing in our own personal lives that needed to be done over here in the eastern part of the world. So all of us have to make that transition. The Most High said, "Get up and go." He didn't give him a map. Right? He probably knew a general direction to go, walk along the road. So of course they had roads going down to Canaan and everything.
Right.
So just take this road. He didn't just wander aimlessly saying which direction. He took the road that was in front of him, you know what I'm saying? So he went there on that road, and the Most High showed him as he was going, this is what you need to do. He didn't give him a blueprint and a master plan of what you need to do exactly. All right. So the Most High said, "I'm going to bless you. I'm going to make your name I'm going to make your name great." He says, "In you kal mashpakaf ha'adamah." It says, "Wa nabarakwa," and they shall bless themselves. They shall bless themselves in you. So now the Most High is saying to us, he says, "Wa nabarakwa." So all the nations are going to be able to bless themselves, baka, meaning in Abraham. Kal, all families of the earth. So out of all the families of the earth, they're going to be able to bless themselves in Abraham. How? The show. The Most High says, himself. He says, "Abaraka." He says, "Abaraka ma barak yaka." He said, "I'm going to bless those that bless you," which means that if you are in Nineveh, because brothers trying to say Nineveh was Israelites. If you are in Samaria, because brothers trying to say that the Samaritans was overpopulation of Israelites that were not taken into captivity. All right. If you are a Moabite or a Hamite, the Most High is saying, if you bless the children of Israel, that He's going to bless you flat out. There's no getting around this, man. A lot of people act like that the Gawarrium are just all doomed regardless of what they do, forgetting the promises that the Most High made regarding certain Goyim that gonna call on his name and follow after and behind his people. He said he's gonna bless those people that bless Abraham. And he's gonna curse those people that curse Abraham. So blessing Abraham, doing what Abraham says is the right way to walk in obedience and righteousness toward the Most High. All right. So he said he's gonna bless those that bless Abraham, which that came upon us too. And he's gonna curse those that curse Abraham. So those ones that curse us, the Most High said he got a curse waiting on them also. Because either way, that's not just everybody is cursed until, all right? They're going to be cursed when they put evil and wish evil and desire evil and curses upon us. And the Most High is going to bless them if they bless us. So once they blessed us, that's how they get their blessing. And all the families of the earth, of course, are going to bless the children of Israel. So all the families of the earth are going to end up being blessed. And that's what the Most High said. He said, all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you. And of course, also that comes down through Yahushua, because all nations are going to go back. You understand? All nations are going to go back to being able to have that life that was taken away from Adam, which was eternal life. Because the Most High says not going to be no more death. There's not going to be no more death on the planet Earth once the whole world is paid for their sins. We paying for our sins as a nation now. And the other nations have to pay for their sins. And those nations that bless the Most High and that bless Israel, Yasha Allah, those individuals of that nation are not gonna receive the bulk. They're not gonna receive the intense punishment. And we see examples of this too. We see examples of this in Daniel, right? Daniel was high in his captivity. Daniel was high in that captivity. So I look at Daniel and be like, hey, what you doing, man? You're going crazy with that. Take that. Somebody look at Daniel like, yo, Daniel, he in the Israelite. Why? Because he's in power. The king put him in power, but, you know, second Joseph, captivity, but Joseph was also in a high position. All right, now the king of Nineveh, he was a Gentile. All right, the kings of Canaan, they were Gentiles. All right, because remember they had brought Israel into captivity, and they conquered us. All right, so these were Gentiles that were doing all these things. All right, so if they would have blessed us like they did the whole time Nineveh repented, the Most High blessed them. And the Most High is true to His word. People forget that the promises the Most High made to Abraham, all right, still apply. So now the Most High said we're gonna take. Now Abraham was 75 years old, and the Most High said, okay, let's take. So Lot went with him. So in that mission that the Most High had him on, Lot went with him. And of course, Lot is the father of the Chinese and the Japanese. The Japanese come from Ammon, and the Chinese come from Moab, right? So Japanese come from Ammon, all right, and the Chinese come from Moab, all right, come from Moab, all right. So Lot went with him, all right. So they had a bunch of wealth, and then they left on that trip, took what they had, and they went out going toward the land of Canaan. All right. Now they went through the land and they passed through Shechem. Can I see your Bible real quick, please? It said they went to Shechem. So now let's try to show you where is Shechem. Okay. Let's see that. They got the journey of Abraham, but they don't have they don't have Shechem on here though. It said he what did it say? He went through as far as Shechem and Moreh, camps for the land. Bethel on the east of Bethel. Alright, so Bethel was on the west. He went east of Bethel, Bethel would be on the west now. right, so just look on your maps. You see where all these places are. So I believe that's gonna be more kind of like, let me see, can I see you? Can I look it up on here? All right, let's look it up real quick so everybody can see where exactly they went to. What is it, what's the first one? Shechem, right? Shechem, Abraham map, Abram map. Okay, let's pull this up now. Okay, we have this particular Shechem we have right here. Isn't that near Nablus today? It's on the west. We have it on the west of Jordan. All right, we have on the west of Jordan. Let's go to Abraham's journey right here. All right, so can anybody see this? All right, so that's supposed to be Shechem, west of Jordan, south of the Galilee. All right. And then there's Hebron right there too. So that's where he journeyed from. And then Haran, as you can see, Haran is up toward the north right here. Everybody see Haran right there? Haran is up north. See? Haran is up north. Everybody see that? All right. So now this territory now is in Turkey. It used to be part of Syria's, or the Aram, the children of Shem. Shem's son named Aram had descendants that we call Aramaic people, or Syrian people today, which is a name that's put on them by the Gentiles. All right, Syro-Phoenicia. All right, so Haran. All right, so that's where he was at. So just look that up. Now, where is Shechem today? Shechem or Bethel. Bethel's still in the same general area. Shechem, you have to do more research to see where that is today. So he built that altar when he went to Shechem. All right, so now he goes to Salakia. He goes to the land of Canaan. All right. Now the Most High says, this land where you're at, I'm gonna give this to your children. So the Most High put Abraham in a position to where, Abraham in a position to where he got set up and put a ball in motion, but it's his children now that's gonna come and see the fullness of what the Most High got planned for him. But they had to go through hell first. They had to go through that captivity first. They had to go through the bondage and do the evil treatment from the Egyptians first. And then they're going to reach the promised land. The same as us, we had to go through that bondage of that 400 years of captivity in the land of the north. All right, and the Most High, we're still in the 400th year. There's a lot of naysayers saying blah, 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 but we're still in that 400th year. 2019 was the beginning of the 400th year. So we're still in that time span, so the Most High still got time before he makes something happen, all right? So we're still in that time period right now. So that's to the naysayers that say, well, yeah, we in January. First of all, they're basing off of, they're being facetious and sarcastic off of January, saying we're in 2019. They should have started running their mouth around August, September, because that's when it started. The 40 years started. August, September, all right? So now we, in November, this so-called month, this Gentile month, and we're in the 400 year now. You understand what I'm saying? That's like somebody saying when you're 10 years old, you got to pass this test.
Okay.
All right, so if you got to pass the test when you're 10, how long do you have to pass the test? You got a year, a little under a year, because you got to pass it before you turn what? 11. So we still in the 400th year, all right? So Most High can still do something, you know what I'm saying? So now Abraham said, okay, Sarah, she was a beautiful woman. And I said, if people are going to look at Sarah, the African women are going to look at Sarah. And they're going to say, man, she's a beautiful woman. You know, I desire her. And when you go into like North Africa, East Africa, South Africa, West Africa, when you go to Europe, when you go into China, when you look at the people that are living amongst our people, it's always the Africans, the Hamites that are looking at our women in America, whether it's the Puerto Rican women, whether it's the Black American women from the tribe of Judah, the Puerto Rican women from the tribe of Ephraim. It's always the Arabs in our different neighborhoods saying, lusting after our women, desiring, not the Arabs, always the Africans desiring to be with our women. You know? And then the ones that look a little darker say, oh, you look like you're from Africa. You must be African. You know what I'm saying? And that's trying to like run that game on them, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it works sometimes. But you don't see the other nations really just trying to press. Now the Arabs, they do be pressing Yasha Allah women. But the Hamites be trying to actually have relationships and trying to get their citizenship worked out or their residency or something worked out. The Arabs just kind of use and abuse. Look at Shechem. He went into Dinah. Man, I gotta have Dinah as my wife. And the Africans still do our women like that today. You know what I'm saying? And we, you know, like I said, living in, you know, seeing stuff, even in Columbus, where we recently, city in America where we lived at before we went to Mexico, you see Hamites all around town. And they're all trying to get these Israelite women. So the same thing Abraham went through in ancient times is the same thing that we're going through now. These Hamites are still trying to get the women, you know, but you don't see too many Hamite ladies marrying Israelite men.
No.
You don't see that too often. You don't see that. You don't see the table flipped around. It's always the Israelite woman being chased by a Hamite man. But the Hamite women aren't giving no play to the Israelite men. They ain't giving no holler whatsoever to the Israelite men. You may find some exceptions, but usually it's the men, Hamite men, trying to get with the Israelite women. Just like Abraham is saying, yo, when we go to this place, you know, say you my sister.
Right, don't tell them.
You know, don't tell them you my woman. All right, but then, so he said, now if you do that, you know, it's gonna go well with us. You know, then I will be kept alive, and you'll be kept alive. You know, and we'll both be, you know, free. Now, an app that I advise everybody to get is called Safaria, Sefaria. And Safaria has all of the Tanakh, different commentaries, different historical notes, and it has the Hebrew and the English. Hebrew is first, then Hebrew is second. Hebrew is first, then the English is second, and you can adjust it for just the Hebrew or just the English, or like we have it on here now, both. So you can see it, you know, you can see what it's saying. You can see what it's saying for yourself. If you can read the Hebrew, you can look at it and say, okay, this says this, or they got this one wrong, or whatever, you know. And plus, it's kind of like a cheat sheet because it kind of, you know, helps you to see what the word is if you don't understand that word in English. I mean, in the Hebrew, okay, like family, you might say mashapat. You feel, okay, it's mashpachah, okay. So get that app if you can, Safaria, Sefaria. So that's my portion right there. Next, let's see, let's have the second one. We can have you come up, Zayatan, and what was this portion supposed to be the first one? That's what you practiced for? We never know, man. Now you're gonna read the second one. That I saw. Aimadwa, Barakwa, Ya Barakaka, Yahweh Bashem Yahusha. Let's do let's start with 14 in Hebrew. Yad and Dalah. Yad and Da. Mm-hmm. After the colons. After the colons. 14. Let's start this up with 2 ducks right there. Read that again. Wayahaya. Mm-hmm.
So it was.
Kabbalah.
When came.
Abraham.
Abram.
Father of many, or high father. What? Matazar. Egypt. Wayada Awa. Hamatazayim.
The Egyptians.
The woman. 4.
Beautiful.
She. Very. Next verse. Relax, man. You're too tense. Just relax. Use your finger and look at the words at the time. Stop all that extra movement, man. You never put your foot down, stand straight, relax. Just use your finger and follow the word. Go ahead.
And so. Her.
Rulers. Or courtiers, but rulers. Parashah. Right. Pharaoh. Yahalawa.
Halawa,
They praised, and they praised
Atha,
to or toward her,
Ad,
to
Paraiha,
Pharaoh,
Wathawak,
and taken or took
Ha'asha,
the woman,
Bawath,
mm-mm,
Bawath,
mm-mm,
Bayath,
right, house of
Paraiha,
Parai, Pharaoh, right. So she was taken into Pharaoh's house. So you see that because of them saying that she's not Pharaoh's sister, she's not Abraham's wife, that Pharaoh was able to take her into another man's Pharaoh was able to take another man's wife into his house. Right? So they just got into the land. And he said, man, I'm gonna take your woman into the house, but he didn't know that was his woman. He just thought that was just a beautiful woman that was part of his entourage. All right, so they saw how beautiful the woman was. So he said, yo, you're so beautiful, you have to come to my house and live with me. All right. All right, so now read it in English, 14 and 15. Go ahead.
but it occurred with Abraham's coming to Egypt. The Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
When the
Officials.
of Pharaoh saw her, they
Lauded.
lauded
Just like applaud, they praised her, gave her good report to Pharaoh. Mm-hmm.
her for Pharaoh,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman saw was taken to Pharaoh's house,
Read.
and he treated Abraham well for her sake.
So just because he thought she was beautiful and took her into his house, then he was nice to Abraham because of the woman. Okay.
He took her in his house thinking that she was just his sister.
And now he about to make her his woman. All right. Go ahead.
And he acquired.
Right. He acquired, meaning he got what?
Sheep,
Mm-hmm.
cattle,
Mm-hmm.
donkeys,
Mm-hmm.
slaves, and maidservants.
That's an F.
Female donkeys and camels. Hashem Yahweh afflicted Pharaoh along with his household with severe plagues, but because of the matter of Sarah, the wife of Abraham.
So Moses started to bring plagues and curses upon this guy's house, Pharaoh's house, and his servants also. Right? Pharaoh and his household with mighty plagues because he had taken this woman's into his house. So just because he didn't know, the Most High still was punishing him. All right, go ahead.
Pharaoh summoned Abraham what is this you sister? Have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she is your wife? Why did you say she is my sister?
So he said, man, why you tell me this woman is your sister and not your wife? Go ahead.
So that I would take her as my wife. Now here is your wife. Take her and go.
So he said, again, he says, Lech. He says, take her, Lech. So same as Most High told him, Pharaoh told him the same thing. All right?
Okay.
So Pharaoh gave.
So he said, man, take your wife and take your wife and go. Because you brought all kind of plagues upon my house because of this woman, and you making me think she's single
When she's not.
when she's not single. She's a married woman. Go ahead.
So Pharaoh gave men orders concerning him, and they
Concerning
him, and they exhorted him and his wife and all that was his.
So they escorted him and his wife and everything that was his. They said, all of y'all get out. Parashah.
Parashah.
Lecha, 9Nov2019. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here?
You got 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So the Hamite African, he knew that this is gonna be my wife. He just knew it, but he didn't make her his wife yet. All right, he didn't make her his wife yet. All right, but remember he got pushed down there because there was a famine in the land. He got pushed down there. Now he could easily said, well, what? I'm gonna stay here, and this is what you do in your life. You can say, I'm gonna stay here, and at this point in my life, because it's comfortable for me. I got it good with this job and this house and this car, and I got my cell phone plan. I'm in a contract. I got my lease on my car. I'm in a contract. I got a lease on my car. I can't do nothing. Can't go nowhere. I'm bound to these contracts that I have. I can't go nowhere. I can't go do the Most High work in Afghanistan or in Sri Lanka because I got my lease. And my children in school, and I got to pay for their education and blah blah blah. Well, Abraham had no concerns. Abraham was self-sufficient though. He had resources within himself to do these things. You see what I'm saying? People that were willing to walk away from what they had going on in their own house, community, village, city. They were willing to walk away from what they had going on and say, I'm gonna go with Abraham. Abraham didn't have no 40 acres in the mule and no lake that was stocked with all kinds of bluegill bass, all right, and salmon swimming up the river. They didn't have nothing. He's walking through this place from point A to point B, and he came into a famine. So when he came into his famine with the Most High, what did he do? He went into Egypt. Because Egypt was famous for having all types of fruits and vegetables, all right, produce during the famines. So Abraham could have said, you know what, man, I'm gonna stay in Egypt. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna stay in Egypt. I'm gonna stay where it's good and comfortable. They got stuff that we can use during this famine. So let's stay here. Let's stay in Egypt. Let's not go back into this desert, harsh environment no more. Let's stay here. The Most High said, the Pharaoh said, get up and get out of here. And remember, the Most High didn't tell him to go down into Egypt. He went down to Egypt because there was the famine, and that's okay. That's okay. All right, that's okay. He went down there because there was the famine. All right. So he journeyed and he journeyed down and got to the Negev desert, which is in the southern part. So he like literally walked from the north to the south of the land that the Most High gave him. You understand? He walked from the north all the way down to the south to the land the Most High gave him. Walking. With a whole group of people walking behind him.
His entourage.
All right? Which is his whole household. It's like a mobile village. Mobile city, actually.
Right.
But he could have stayed inside of the comfort of Egypt, just like you choose to stay in the comforts of Babylon. You choose to stay in the comforts of America. And you literally got a whole continents of countries and cities where our people haven't heard the truth. And you going to your job, you getting up, you ain't worried about nothing. A lot of y'all people in America, man, a lot of y'all, I'm gonna tell you the truth, y'all selfish as hell. And a lot of you are selfish, stingy, and you got a cowardice spirit on you, man. Because you have been sold on that American dream in captivity. You've been sold on the American dream in captivity. You don't want to come over to where we are and help your people over here. Money is your damn God, man. Money is your God. And your women and your children are your gods. Because just like me and Zaquan got up from America and went into Central America, went into India, went into through California into Mexico. Right? We didn't have no 401ks. And we went on a plane and went over to Israel. And walked all up and down Israel, went to the south of Israel, from the north to the south of Israel. And the brothers that was with us traveled from Galilee all the way down south to the Negev, where Abraham was at. But a lot of y'all seem to think that when Yahweh said, go forth and teach the nations, oh, that wasn't talking about all nations. That was talking about Israelites that were scattered among the nations. But yet you still are not going to them. So what difference does it make of your understanding you have? You still ain't going nowhere, man. And sometimes, I'm gonna tell you frankly, sometimes you gotta get up off your ass and take a chance on the Most High, on doing His work without you seeing the end of your life before you laid out in a perfect playwright. This ain't Byron Allen or John Singleton or Denzel. All right, it definitely ain't Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese. This is Yahweh saying, get up and go. Abraham got up and go. So you read the Bible and you think, when I get off work, when I got some time, when I'm not dealing with my wife and children, then I'm going to go to this corner in America. Drive a few blocks. I may take the bus there, go to another city. I'm going to teach and I'm going to come back home, kick up my feet and relax. Couple of hours, make love to my woman, play with the children, have me a nice little shower and bath. Yeah, I go to work in the morning because, I need this big old house in my captivity to sustain my family.
You want this big house.
You're trying to put yourself in the lap of luxury in captivity, and then you Negroes, Hispanics cry about we in captivity so we can't keep these commandments. Well, maybe if you didn't make it so that you had a daggone $2,200 house payment,
A month.
all right, a $489.73 lease for the car, all right,
Plus insurance.
plus your insurance. Maybe if you didn't try to live in a lap of luxury, you know, in captivity, you would be able to keep the commandments of the Most High in captivity if you didn't build so much expenses around yourself to protect you from doing the right thing to the Most High.
Well, it's not expensive. Let's call it for what it is. It's debt.
It's self-accumulated debt.
Right.
You chose that house or that apartment that you got. You chose to get that expense. You chose not to grind and hustle for a year, 2, 3, 4 years and buy you a little building somewhere that you could build up and support your family. That's the plan. You chose to buy into the American dream to get this house in this place with this high payment. Now you got no choice but to go and work for these people every day of your life because you don't own the property that you sitting in.
Right. And it's already been shown through reports that Black and Latino homeowners always pay more for their mortgages. Okay, it's a scheme, a setup.
And if I can do it, if I can buy a property outright cash, all right, or have a plan to pay off a property in 2 years, 3 years, you can do it too. But you stuck on this American dream the so-called white man has sold you, or you got to do this way, you see? And all of y'all brothers, you know, y'all live in all these cities in America. Every city in America got buildings that, you know, that are messed up, that can use work. You got to buy that building if you want to, maybe as a stepping stone and put your family there, fix it up, live in it, go to your job. Now you can work less hours because your income is less. And then you get that one, you save that one, now you say, bam, you get in the position, you buy it, and then you can move and make more off of the building than you paid for it. And that's what I did. Why can't you do it? That's how we got into Turkey. That's how we got into Turkey. We went from America to Belize, from Belize to America, from America to Mexico, and then from Mexico to Israel, and then from Israel to Turkey. Now, not even counting the long. I'm just talking like the family moves.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about when I went to the different places by myself, teaching our people, India and Sri Lanka and Guatemala. I'm counting the place where we say, okay, we're gonna live here. You know what I'm saying? So if Abraham did it, and Yahushua was all up and down the road, the highways and the byways, you think Yahushua was on the highways and the byways by saying, yeah, I'm gonna go here today, and then I'm gonna come back home, I gotta go to work. Nah, he was on the run. Paul and it was on the run, man. So you gotta be like Abraham, man. If you children of Abraham, how come you ain't acting like Abraham? You children of Jacob, how you ain't acting like Jacob, man? You see what I'm saying? You gotta leave them places, man. You gotta go and reach your people. Even if you just say, you know what, I'm gonna take off a month's work. You and your wife, you could work 2 months while your wife is doing what she's doing, and then you know your wife could work. All right. When my wife was in school, I was the one bringing in most of the money, the bulk of the money, because she was going to school every day, getting a bachelor's degree at Ohio State University, and she finished it. You know what I'm saying? And she finished it, man. So a lot of y'all make sacrifices for your families, but that sacrifice don't got nothing to benefit the Most High. You don't move forward toward the Most High. So you got to decide what I want to do for the Most High, because the Most High Yahushua is going to be rewarded. Every man according, the Most High and Yahushua reward every person according to their labor, according to their work. So what is your work that you're doing? Well, I'm doing X, Y, Z, and he's doing X, Y, Z, and they doing it. Well, y'all in line for the same reward. The greater your works, the greater your faith, the greater your reward is going to be, man. So Abraham's faith, Abraham's reward was great because he had faith to go from his safe element and say, I'm going to go to Haran. Now I'm going to go over into, I'm going to go from Haran, I'm going to go to Canaan. From Canaan, he went down to Egypt. From Egypt, he could have stayed there in that land of bondage, but he decided to leave from there. He decided to leave from there and said, I'm going to go back into this desert area. I'm going to go back into this Negev desert. And that's where we got brothers and sisters in the Negev desert now living. But guess what? You got brothers down there, the Holy Tabernacle or something at Hoshua, and you have the Village of Peace, Dimona. Which Dimona is a whole city, and they have a community within Dimona, or some city block areas within Dimona, with some gardens and stuff set up there.
And you got the brothers.
All right.
North of them.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But the point I'm making is this. So you got people that are in the Negev desert, right? That's in the Negev desert, the same as Abraham was. But guess what? Abraham had schools for his children down there. Most importantly, if you're in the Negev desert and you're in Israel, why don't you have a Torah school? Why don't you have a Hebrew school? Everybody's ranting and raving about all these communities and brothers and sisters in Israel with these resources. Why don't we have a Torah school? Why don't we have a Hebrew school? Or you want to say, oh, this is the Obed. Well, this is the Obed. It's not the Hebrew. It's Ebon. It's not the Obed. This is the Syrian script. All right. Okay, but why don't you have a school? Teach people this. Okay, everybody's trying to get people to do a special little thing for them, but it's nothing really for the whole nation to benefit and to utilize. So you have to get up out of Egypt, man, and you got to go into the Negev. Not literally, but metaphorically, you got to go into Canaan. You got to go and fulfill the promise that the Most High given to you and your children. If you know the Most High said, being in this captivity is going to be over once your people across the world find out who they are and they repent and turn back unto me. So it seems like we got that down packed in America.
More than down pat.
From Washington State to California.
Texas.
From Florida up to, I know, maybe Connecticut.
Yeah.
I don't know about New Hampshire and Maine.
Right.
Well, we got brothers in Nova Scotia too. So you might as well say from Florida to Nova Scotia. I got the whole North America locked down. But because you don't want to humble yourself to organize with these brothers, you put, I'm going to choose what my mission is for the Most High today. There's no communication, there's no counseling together, there's no regionalization. There's no putting everything into different regions and organizing of what we're going to teach. Well, that's what we did as Masharai Yasha'Allah. We said we want Masharai Yasha'Allah supposed to be teaching the royal basics. Repentance unto salvation, obedience to the Torah, Yahweh Yasha'Allah, and then the last days. That's what our mission is supposed to be. That's the teaching agenda, based on the Articles of Belief and the Brotherhood Code of Ethics. That's what the foundation, that's supposed to be spreading to all Israel right now. You see? So now, once you get that done, or if you realize the fact that they don't need me here to do this, there's other people that can do that. Now you can go into Ecuador. We got brothers in Ecuador. Now you can go into Argentina and Brazil. We got brothers down there. And now you can go into Venezuela and Colombia. We got brothers and sisters over there too. You see? So now you can do all of these things now. You do all these things now, but what's the problem? The problem is that you're too comfortable in Egypt. You're too comfortable in Babylon in that captivity, man. You don't want to go someplace else to do something else for the Most High. All right. Let's go into chapter 13, verses 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead.
So Abraham went up from Egypt, he with his wife and all that was his, and Lot with him to
Mhm.
the south.
So the south meaning he went to Negev. That's the area that was the south of that land the Most High had given him, which is Nagabah. Go ahead.
Now Abraham was very
Laden.
laden with
Livestock.
livestock, silver, and gold.
So Abraham didn't, listen to this. A lot of you are banking and betting on your money with that American dollar. Because you like the convenience of your check card. Or you like the convenience of your credit. You like that convenience. But when that dollar collapses, what do you think is going to happen with your money?
Or Bitcoin, or any currency for that matter. Because all currencies run on the same forex system. So the powers that be, if they want to collapse the world economy, which is what's happening over in Europe, okay, what's happening over in Asia, all that's a rippling effect. Just because one currency collapses, you don't think it's going to affect other currencies? Go ahead.
So you can look at Abraham, what did he have? Now, Abraham is going into Proverbs 27:23, when it talks about having livestock and having crops. Because the silver and gold ain't gonna last for all generations, okay? But if you have that silver and that gold now, when these economies start to collapse, you got your silver, you got your gold. An ounce of silver, all right? An ounce of silver, 4 ounces of silver, ounce of gold. I can take that ounce of gold in Turkey and get the equivalent of what that ounce of gold is worth in Turkey. But on a worldwide market, ain't gonna be too much fluctuation. But that Turkish lira, it can rise and fall in value tremendously. That American dollar can rise and fall in value
Day by day.
But the American dollar rises, when the value of the American dollar falls, I can still turn in my silver and gold for some currency in a country. I don't gotta put all my stock into this currency. I don't gotta play that market. I just have my gold. You know, Abraham had his livestock, which means he had what? Milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, meat, thread, leather. He had all these things from his animals, and those things to get gold, silver. It was what, 300, wasn't it 300 pieces of gold, silver that he bought the burial place for.
Okay.
So that I learned from Abraham. Abraham was very rich. His livestock and his animals.
So his bank would travel with him.
And I guarantee you right now, if you come off a plane, with your family, whatever, they already come to the country, visa stamp, blah, 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 blah. But let you come into the country, to the border on land with like about 100 people and like 600 sheep and goats, or like Abraham did. You see what the people we actually gonna be then. And you walking, it's like you walking along the way, you got your donkeys and you got your camels, you just on a little trek. You know what I'm saying? How's that gonna work? How's that gonna be? How's that gonna responding to why? Because the whole system of transportation is gonna shut down. You gotta be prepared for it to shut down. So Abraham had all of his eggs lined up, all of his ducks lined up in a row. But he didn't have all his eggs in one basket. He had silver, he had gold, he had livestock. So he said, yo, this is what we're gonna do. And he traveled. And then when he got to Egypt, all right, he said, now this is gonna be what we do. You're gonna stay here for a minute, then the dude said, hey, you gotta leave, man. But he still had his silver and gold and livestock. Right, go ahead. In verse 3, right?
He recorded.
He what?
Recorded.
No. Read it again. Proceeded. I mean, he went forward with something. He had a plan and he went forward. Go ahead.
On his journeys from the south to Bethlehem.
Bethel.
To the place where his tent had been at first, between Bethel and Ai, to the site of the altar which he had erected there at first, and there Abraham.
No, read it again. There, what? Who?
Abraham.
His name's not changed yet.
And both Hashem Yahweh by name.
Okay. So he's calling upon the Most High. All right. So these are all things that we have to understand and see, that our life should be a reflection of the life of the patriarchs, the life of the fathers in the scriptures. Our life should be a demonstration of our faith, like their life was a demonstration of their faith in the Most High. How do we demonstrate that faith? What do you have faith for? What's your faith in? Yourself, your job, and your boss? A lot of you brothers, man, gonna be a lot of you brothers putting your families in danger and don't even know it, because you procrastinating. You waiting and waiting, getting your family prepared for the crap that's about to hit the fan.
You're not getting your family prepared. You're basically continuing in the lifestyle that you have grown or accustomed to. You and your wife, your routine, your kids' routine.
So now when the Most High starts to let loose all hell, all right, you ain't got nothing stored up for your family, all right? Your wife and your children are not prepared for the mental stress of what's about to go down, all right? Your safety zone, your safety circle around you is small. You don't have a big safety zone to protect you from whatever's coming. And then you say, well, I got faith in the Most High that He's gonna do X, Y, Z. But then your faith in the Most High that He's gonna do X, Y, Z, when does that faith start to become action? You're not basing your action on that faith. You're saying you got faith, but your works say that your faith is in your job. Your works say that your faith is in the almighty dollar, not the almighty Allahayim of Yasharallah, not the almighty God. All right, the almighty gas station, the almighty water bill, the almighty gas bill, the almighty electric bill, the almighty insurance, the almighty supermarket, the almighty mortgage, the almighty mall, right? The almighty Foot Locker, right? The almighty Burberry store, the almighty Gucci store, the almighty Chanel store, the almighty Louis Vuitton store, the almighty, for some of you brothers, Balenciaga store, the almighty Cartier. Your faith is in these things, but your faith is not in having your family and yourself prepared for what's about to go down.
And a lot of you act selfish to the point that you don't need anybody because you have X, Y, Z. Okay, but no man is an island. That's an old saying. You know, you being by yourself, you're a target.
Brothers just playing church, man. Brothers is playing church. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. We're gonna get together, we're gonna do some religious activity, and then we're gonna go our separate ways. And that's what a lot of y'all brothers is playing. All these major Israelite groups and organizations, man, they playing church. They ain't really doing no Abraham moves, man. They ain't doing no Isaac and Jacob moves, man. They ain't doing no Sarah moves, man. Sarah put herself in the middle of danger because her husband said so. She put herself in the middle of danger because her husband said so. And a lot of y'all don't even allow your husband to get another wife that's gonna help your family and benefit your family and benefit you and your husband because that's what he wants. A lot of y'all don't even pick up extra hours or leave your job, either one. Your husband say leave the job, you want to stay. Your husband say get more hours, you say no. A lot of y'all don't even want to obey your husband. And this woman is putting herself in the middle of danger. And Most High said, what? You should be like Sarah, whose daughters you are. You got to be like Sarah. That's your mother. So like mother, like daughter. So what mother are you imitating? You see? Is it Jezebel, or is that your mother? Is Jezebel your mother? Who are you imitating? Who are you trying to be like? You trying to be like Sarah? You see, Sarah said, bam, let's go, Abraham. So if your husband say, bam, let's go, what you gonna do? You gonna say, oh, let me try to get back over to Babylon, America, or whatever, that part of the Western Hemisphere. Oh no, what about this? My mother, my father, blah, blah, what are you gonna do? You see that? What are you gonna do, man? Most High already gives the examples in the scripture. See, a lot of y'all want to read this Bible, man. A lot of you want to read the Bible, then when you finish reading it, you want to throw it behind you and then go into your own brain and your own mind to do what you think you want to do in your life. Damn your man, damn the Most High, damn anybody that don't agree with what you feel like you should be or need to be doing. Well, guess what? If you make it into the wilderness, man, if I make it into the wilderness, then everything will be cleared out. And y'all, what y'all doing, you are postponing your own deliverance. Because the quicker you get in order with the Most High, the quicker we're going to get delivered from these captivities that we're in. But you got to get right with the Most High first. You see? So you want to read the Bible, but you don't want to apply the Bible.
Well, getting right with the Most High means, first and foremost, obedience to the law. Not making excuses not to do the law. Why are we in captivity? I guess that's the best question. Are we in captivity because we kept the law, or are we in captivity because we broke the law? Why are we still in captivity? Are we in captivity because we're doing better with keeping the law, or we're trying to compromise, make excuses for not doing the law? And that will explain your state in your life at this present time. Where are you at? Are you trying to be more obedient, or are you trying to be less obedient? And then on top of that, you demand your deliverance. You feel entitled to your salvation. On what ground?
And demand that men, and it's the whole thing, man. You demand that a man do what you say to do in captivity. You got a little congregation, you got a little camp, you got a little government, all right? You got a little piece of land someplace, you got a little organization. You demand that these people do exactly what you say in captivity. But then you teach them same men that it's okay to disobey the Most High in captivity. See, you can make mistakes toward the Most High in captivity, but let anybody do what the Most High said they can do, but then you told them not to do it, you're going to come down like a ton of bricks on that man. But then you want the Most High to give you mercy, man. That's a hypocrite, man. You got all these orders, do's and don'ts of your congregation, your camp, your school, your group. Don't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. But then the Most High tell you these things not to do. And the same men you expect to be obedient and loyal to you, you're going to teach these men that it's okay to disobey the Most High because you're in captivity. Well, let somebody tell you that. Well, yeah, man, I couldn't come and do this because I'm in captivity. I can't. Well, brother, you're going to be off of this, man. We can't have you on this no more. We can't have you on this no more. Give me an example. What if, let me give you an example. What if, I was in an organization and they had an event, and I said, well, I can't make this event, man, because I'm in captivity, man. But everybody else is making, they're gonna be like, well, you can't be in an organization, man, because part of your responsibility is to show up. All right? Part of your responsibility is to show up. All right? So if part of your responsibility is to show up, all right, stand normally, man. You're doing too much fidgeting around. If part of your responsibility is to show up for this organization, stand up straight. Regular, man. It's part of your responsibility to show up to the organization, and you don't do that, you're gonna get kicked out of the organization. When the Most High said, I want you to keep my Sabbath, I want you to do these holy days, I want you to be obedient to what I'm saying to do in my word, so now you're gonna tell the Most High, oh, I'm in captivity, thinking that's a good excuse for him. Most High, you see what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all brothers, man, the Most High gonna get you. He gonna get you, man, because you being disobedient to him with a high hand. The Most High don't give a care about your excuse of why you in captivity. Oh, the brother was in jail for 30 years, man. I understand that. So if he have sex with a man, once every 3 months, it's understandable. He's in captivity. He in real captivity. He in real iron bars. But if he can't break that commandment, I'm gonna make you think that you can break a commandment and you in a free world. The move around captivity with no chains. All right, you understand the fact that we are more in domination and exile than we are in captivity. Why do I say that? Because you can leave America, you can leave Mexico, you can leave Argentina and go back into Jerusalem, back into the land of Israel, and Esau won't stop most of us. You can do that. So you can leave your captivity if you choose to. But you can't dominate that land. You can't control that land. And all Israel can't do that right now. That's what the Most High said that I'm going to turn again the captivity. Yahweh said that he's going to bring us back into the land of our fathers. You understand that? He's going to be one to take us back to the Negev, to Ai, to Bethel, to Hebron, to Shechem. He's going to do all of that. You can go because we got lost sheep over there that need to return to the Most High. You can go over there and wake up our people. But the whole nation's not going to do that. The whole nation can't do that. It's impossible. Because we got like 370 million Israelites worldwide. There's not even enough room. Where the Most High said what? You're going to chop that down to about 120 million. It's going to be chopped down to about 120 million. And that's the ones that's going to make it into that land. Or, let me say that's the ones that's going to make it into the wilderness probably. And then from the wilderness, there's going to be rebels in the wilderness. And they're going to be cut off and not make it, not make it into the land. So what's the point? The point is that your captivity is no excuse for your disobedience.
Never.
You brought that on yourself. And now you're going to make it worse by being even more disobedient. Well, get out of captivity in America, go into captivity in Canada. Go to captivity in Uruguay. Go to captivity in Jamaica. Go to captivity in Dominica. Go to captivity in Dominican Republic. Go to captivity in Barbados. Go to captivity in England. Go to captivity where our people are that haven't heard this word. Go there. Go there. It's mighty convenient that the place your parents brought you to is the place that you needs the most help for the gospel. Or my parents moved to this state, America. You've been in America for 300, 200, some of us 50 years or so. Some of us were born in America, but our parents or grandparents came to America. All right? Some of our uncles and stuff wasn't even born. My children got uncles and aunts that wasn't even born in America. That wasn't even born in America. That was born in Borinquen. And you got brothers in Borinquen. You got brothers in Borinquen, but they just kind of all over the place. But anyway, the point I'm making is that you using captivity as an excuse for disobedience, that doesn't cut it, man. Never did. Never did. Because the Most High have already told you what you need to do to get out of it. to get out of this captivity. And that's obey all Israel. So if you know it's groups of Israelites over here, go teach them. Wake them up. If you want to come back to that captivity place, that's fine. But take 2 months out the year. Take 2 weeks out the year. Go to Paraguay. All right, go to Ecuador. Go to Sri Lanka. Go to places where you know our people have a famine of hearing the word and take it to them. Because I'm gonna tell you something, people you listening, teaching to on the streets, they ain't making no changes, but you can still teach them. But we got other people that want to hear the word that will make changes that aren't in America.
There never was an excuse to not do the law and be obedient. What's the examples that the Most High gives us? What about the mother and her sons that refused to eat swine unto death? Okay, if they did that, that was the example of them dying to keep the law. Even Ezra, the king told Ezra that, hey, simulate, fake it. Make the people not think that you're keeping the that you're not eating the swine, okay? Act like you're eating the swine. But he refused to do that. Why? Because the image that he was trying to show the people was obedience, okay? The image that the mother and her sons tried to demonstrate was obedience unto death. Unto death. And you're gonna tell me that you can't lose your job? That's not unto death, because you can always get another job. And there's been lawsuits where people have won lawsuits for being violated of their civil liberties of keeping their religious observations. But you're not willing to fight for that, okay? And you're not willing to lose if you don't win that lawsuit. That's still not an excuse to break the commandments of the Heavenly Father. All right, there's no excuse. And to teach people that there is an excuse, so somehow or another they can be forgiven for this excuse, is a misunderstanding of the scriptures. Most High is totally against that. We're in captivity for disobedience. So how do you think we're going to be delivered by continuing to be disobedient to the commandments of the Heavenly Father? It doesn't work that way. Never did. Never will. So you need to set the bar high enough and strive to that high mark, that high calling of obedience.
Because right now, we have 2 main places where our people are. 3 main places. Well, we have places where our people are where we need a firm presence of Torah, Hamashiach, Yahushua, all right, and our history and language to be taught. And I'm going to say those places are the Middle East, both in and outside of the land of Israel, maybe east of Jordan, in Jordan country, and west of Jordan, in Israel country, or in Palestine, and that covers the Middle East and Asia. We need presence in Pakistan or India. All right, we need presence in India. Right, we need presence in India. We need presence in those 2, Middle East and India, for our people to wake up and to be taught on a regular basis, for men and women that are there, you know, to reach out to our brothers and sisters and let them know what's going on and what they need to do toward and for the Most High, man. But how you know that, what are you going to do to help make that happen? Because we over here already. We over here in the Eastern Hemisphere. We're not here on vacation. This is it. And we either go further east or we go further southeast. Correct?
Okay.
East or southeast. All right. Should I rather go to South Georgia, Russia, before I go back to America? All right. I'd rather go to South Georgia, Russia before we go back there, because our people are still, guess where? Over there in Abkhazia, right on the eastern coast of the Black Sea. Yasha Allah lives over there. They came there as slaves, servants under the Russian czars. All right? I'm talking late 18, early 19s. They were still going over there as servants, man. St. Petersburg and stuff. Then they left and went over to Abkhazia, a little community. So our people are in this part of the world. We are in Turkey. I don't think a lot of you have really, the magnitude of what's going on have really registered in your heads yet. Like, we are in Turkey. We are in the 7 churches of Asia Minor that you read about in the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and 2. We are between the church of Smyrna and the church of Ephesus. We are in the territory of the province, the province of Smyrna, called Izmir today. That's where we literally are right now. Ephesus, we can get to Ephesus, we can drive there in about 25 minutes, right? 20, 25 minutes to Ephesus. And that's only because you gotta go through a couple towns before you get on the highway, you know? And you got some stop signs and stuff. So that's where we are. That's where we are. So we are trying to wake up our people in this part of the world to bring us back to Yahweh. Right? And yeah, a lot of the people, it's different being over here, But if we work together as a nation, we can do so much more over here, man. We work together as a nation. Because the cost of living here and in India and in the Middle East is far below what it's going to cost to do things that we need to do in the Americas, man. All right, so with that, the Most High built that altar. This whole chapter is about traveling and movement and having faith in the Most High.
Faith in the unknown.
Faith in not knowing what's going to happen when you take that next step. We don't know what's going to happen. What the next step is. You're going to go to Israel, you're going to go to India, Sri Lanka, you're going to go to Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Well. So that's what we on now. So as we reading these chapters, let's remember that these are examples for us to read and try to put into motion. All right? I chapter 13, verse 5. Go ahead and read let's read the first 3 in Hebrew.
Wakam.
Lalawat.
Ahalka. Ahalak. Abraham. Hayah. Tizaan. Wabakwar. Wa'ahaliam.
Okay.
Wala'a. Nasha'a. Atham. Haratza. The Shabath. Yakadwa.
Right.
Kaya. Haya. Wakarasham. Rakarasham. Rab. Waba'a. Yakalwa. Shabath. Yakadwa. Wayahaya. Rayam. Ra'aya. Makwana. Abawam. Wabayam. Ra'aya. Makwana. Lawat, Wakanai,
Waha Kanaaimia,
Wahakanainia,
the Canaanites.
Wahapari,
Waha Parazaya,
Wahaparazaya, Az,
the Parazaites.
Az, Yashab, Baratza,
All right, very good. Let's read it. Very good. Good reading. Let's do it in English now.
Also Lot, who went with Abram, had flocks, cattle, and tents, and the land could not support them dwelling together.
So Abraham had his brother, his nephew, his relative was with him to fulfill this mission that the Most High had put them on. Right, go ahead.
For their possessions were abundant, and they were unable to dwell together.
And as they were in this state of being, they started to get greater possessions. Right?
And there was quarreling between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite were dwelling in the land. So Abram said to Lot, please let there be no strife between me and you, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are kinsmen. It is not all the land before you. Please separate from me. If you go left, then I will go right. If you go right, then I will go left. So Lot raised his eyes and saw the entire plain of the Jordan, that it was well watered, everywhere. Before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, going toward Zoar. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan, and Lot journeyed from the east. Thus they parted, one from his brother.
So Lot journeyed eastward. So Lot, it's like Lot went on the other side of Jordan, right? And go ahead.
Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, while Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain and pitched tents as far as Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and sinful toward Yahweh exceedingly.
So when they were wicked, that means that this is before Esau and Jacob were born, before they had the law. The nation were given certain laws that they had to keep coming down from their father, Noah. So when you went against these laws, you were considered to be wicked. They had sexual laws, laws of who and how. They had laws about your food, the way you're supposed to eat your food. Okay? Laws about murdering people. You couldn't just murder somebody. So they had all of these laws, 7 basic laws, that all people had to obey. So when they broke these laws, that's when the people were called wicked, sinful. Okay? So otherwise, Yahweh wouldn't have been able to judge them, right? How can he judge the people that he didn't give any laws to? Just like you coming home and getting people, expectations that you never let them know, that they have no way of knowing. Go ahead.
Yahweh said to Abram, after Lot parted from him, raise now your eyes and look out from where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward, for all the land that you've seen. To you will I give it, and to your descendants forever. I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth, so that if one can count the dust of the earth, then your offspring too can be counted. Arise, walk about the land through its length and breadth, for to you will I give it. And Abram moved his tent and came and dwelled in the plains of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and he built there an altar to Yahweh.
Parashah,
Bar Yahweh,
the Bar Yahweh,
Naishah,
Naishah,
Menashemai, all that Yahweh said.
all that Yahweh said,
What we doing here?
what we doing here. Commentary. Or what you just read.
Abram and Lot shepherds were fighting over the land, because there wasn't enough land for both,
Okay.
to sustain both of them.
So what did he do to resolve the conflict?
Well, did they say what the conflict was about?
Well, basically the shepherds were arguing for a greater portion of the land for their cattle or their herds that they were grazing. The land wasn't, I guess, in their mind, there wasn't enough land for both of them to be using it at the same time, so that's when they decided to split the land up. Go ahead, what were you saying?
And so they decided to separate. And Abram let Lot choose where he wanted to go.
Okay.
He wanted to go to Sodom, because it was well, there was a lot of water and land there.
Okay.
And so he went there, and him and Abram separated.
All right, so that was the bulk of the chapter. Huh?
The house told Abram, everywhere would be his. All of that you can see would be his. And all of his children would be abundant.
All right, and that's why you got Abraham's children still in that general area, man. All right, all in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Dubai, Bahrain, Qatar. Yeah, those people in that part of the world are all the children of Abraham, man. I mean, they literally come from Abraham's seed. Those are Midianites and Ishmaelites in the families that belong to Midian and Ishmael. Okay? Talking Yemen. Those are all Israelites. Those are all Abraham's children. All right? Those are all Abraham's children over there, man. All right? Those are all Hebrews. When you come over here, now you find like a little mixture of different Shemitic families and different Edomites and Japhethites also, right? But the Most High is telling Abraham, look at all these directions, man. Look north, south, east, and west. All this is going to be yours. All this is going to be yours. All right. So you know that part of Jordan, he said, "If I will give all the land that you see to you and your offspring forever." So you see, all what you see is going to be yours forever. Just he's going to make us as he's going to make us many people of Abraham. But of the family that came from Abraham, the most important family is going to be the Israelites, Yasharallah. Now the Edomites, they also come from Abraham. The Arabs also come from Abraham. All right. Any what you call like the Bedouin people. All these people come from Abraham. These are all Abraham's children. Nobody else comes from Abraham. All right. The people that went in captivity in North America, Central America, South America, and the people that got conquered in those areas, those are Hebrews, those are Israelites. The people that are over in the Middle East area, those are primarily Israelites. You got a couple of question mark people. Who are these people, like the Pashtun or the Pashtun Israelites or not? Well, they say that they are. The Pashtuns say, we are Israelites, but we follow Islam. The Pashtun I'm talking about in Afghanistan. Afghanistan. Okay? So now Abraham moved his tent, got another place to kick it at, to dwell in. Right? And we're gonna have that land again. That's still our land. You say cholesterol? Okay. All right, so Adiyashan, you come on up.
Alright, I'm not Parzan, but God, Shah.
Rock.
Yeah, right, I'm Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Yabrake Hao Bashim Yahushai.
Okay. You're in Genesis 14. Okay. 1 to 3.
Wayahaya.
And it came to pass
Bayamya.
in the days
Amar Paul.
among Paul of Amrapah,
Malak.
king
Shanair.
of Shinar,
Arayawak.
Arak,
Malak.
king
Alasar.
of Elzar,
Kadar La Imar.
Chepteglar-Mer,
Malak.
king
Ilam.
of Elam,
Wathadail.
and Tidal,
Malak.
king
Gawayam.
nations, verse 2.
Aishawa.
They made
Malakamha.
say that again,
Malakamha.
war
Ath.
with
Barai.
Bara,
Malak.
king
Saddam.
Sodom,
Wa'ath.
and
Barashai.
Parashah,
Malak.
king
Imara.
Gomorrah,
Shanaab.
Shiab, or Nob,
Malak.
king
Adamha.
Admah,
Washa Ma'abra.
and Shemeber,
Malak.
king
Tazad Yayam.
of Zebul,
Wamalak.
and the king
Balai.
of Bela,
Haya'ah.
that
Tazair.
Zor,
Kal.
all, verse 3, all,
Allah.
these,
Alha.
these,
Kabarwa.
joined together
Al.
in
Anqua.
the valley, or valley,
Hashadiam.
of Siddim,
Hawa'ah.
that is,
Yam.
sea,
Hamalak.
the salt, okay, that was, verses 1 to 3.
Genesis chapter 14, verse 1. And it happened in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Ariak, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim, that these made war on Bera, king of Sodom, Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinar, the king of Admah, Shemaber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Belon, which is Zoar. All of these had joined at the valley of Siddim, now the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and they rebelled 13 years. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him came and struck the Rephaim at Ashtaroth, Karnaim, the Zuzim and Ham, the Emim and Shaveh, Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their mountains of Seir, as far as the plain of Paran, which is by the desert. Then they turned back and came to En-Mishpat, which is Kadesh. They struck all the territory of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites who dwell in Hazazon Tamar. And the king of Sodom went forth with the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar, and engaged them in battle in the valley of Siddim. With Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of Goim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Ariel, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5.
Let me say something real quick. When they talk about the Amalekites came from Edom, and Edom isn't born yet. So what we see is that they're making a reference to the geographic area where Amalek dwelled at, because the Israelites at the time that this was written by Ezra in the captivity, they knew what that area was. They had the record to show what that area was. All right, so that's why it's talking about Amalek. All right, that's why it's talking about Amalek, even though Amalek wasn't around, back then. That's why we say, yeah, the so-called white man, they invaded America, right? They invaded America, right? But was it called America back then? No. But they still invaded the area that we know now as America. Same thing he's doing now. They subdued all the territory of the Amalekites. So the territory that Amalek was possessing and had come into the possession of, that's where the Edomites, that's the area that was subdued. Okay? So these kings all got together and said, Chedorlaomer was the big dog, and then the people rebelled against him in Sodom and the other cities. So he said, we got to go up and show we have to go and show an example of power to these people that rebelled against us, man. This is when governments were governments, man. And Abraham was just kind of caught in the middle of everything. All right, go ahead.
The valley of Siddim was full of bitumen wells. The king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell into them, while the rest fled to a mountain. They seized all the wealth of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food, and they departed. And they captured Lot and his possessions, Abram's nephew, and they left, for he was residing in Sodom.
So they took prisoners. Go ahead.
Then there came the fugitive and told Abram, the Ivri who dwelt in the plains of Mamre.
So Abram was a Hebrew because he came from Eber. That's why when we look at Genesis 10, it said Eber, who became the father of the Ibarim, of the Ivrim. All right, of the Ibarim. Go ahead.
Who dwelt in the plains of Mamre, the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol, and the brother of Aner, these being Abram's allies.
So Abram's what?
Allies.
So Abraham had allies that weren't what? That weren't Hebrews, and that weren't Israelites, that weren't even Shemites. Because remember, the Amorites come from Ham. So what are we going to say now? These Amorites were really Hebrews?
Going by a different name.
Going by a different name? Abraham had people of different nations allied to him because what? It's war, baby. You ain't gonna survive no war only having yourself as your allies.
No, you don't have enough men.
Because even look at Eleazar. I don't care what example you give a Gentile. What it was really talking about an Israelite. Eleazar was an obedient, faithful, and righteous member of Abraham's household, and he was not an Israelite. So whatever doctrine you want to teach, We see that Eleazar was a righteous Gentile man in Abraham's household. That Abraham did not really want him to inherit everything he had. Because Eleazar was a Syrian, Aramya. Okay, what verse you in?
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
And when Abram heard that his kinsman was taken captive, he armed his disciples.
What law is this? This is, you should not stand against the blood of your brother. Wayashemai Avram Chaya Nashava Ach Yawa Wayarak Af Chaya. No, it don't say nothing about his students. Yeah, actually it says yada yada yada. His like servants that were born in his house. It said yada 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 yah bayatwa. So the ones that were born in his house. Go ahead.
He armed his disciples who had been born in his house, 318, and he pursued them as far as Dan.
So he went way up north, man. Now, well, let's go talk about Dan to the west, or Dan to the west, or Dan that was up north. Go ahead.
And he with the servants deployed against them at night.
So he did a nighttime guerrilla. Guerrilla meaning a small war. Not guerrilla like woo, 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 woo. But guerrilla means like guerrilla from the word guerra, which means war. And guerrilla is a small war. So guerrilla war, guerrilla warfare.
At night, when the night worked to his advantage.
Okay.
He pursued them as far as Hobah, which is to the north of Damascus.
Okay.
He brought back all the possessions. He also brought back his kinsman, Lot, with his possessions.
So he took 318 men and went and conquered these kingdom nations. So what kind of fighting skills did these people have? For Abraham to go with 318 men and to overpower kings that had other nations, other kingdoms in subjection for years. Go ahead.
As well as the women and the people.
So he got everybody back. They took prisoners of war, all right, and they took their material possessions also. Read.
The king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from defeating Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him to the valley of Shabath, which is the king's valley. But Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was a priest of Elohim, the Most High. He blessed him, saying, Blessed is Abram of Elohim, the Most High, maker of heaven and earth. And blessed is Elohim, the Most High.
Now, is this Melchizedek, this Melchizedek, is this Yahushua? Is this Yahushua? Probably is. He didn't have a father or mother. He was without days. He wasn't born or from the earth. He came into this dimension from the fourth dimension.
Literally.
Go ahead.
Who has delivered your foes into your hand, and he gave him a tenth of everything.
So this is Abraham. Yahushua is the priest after the order of Melchizedek. Showing you how the Melchizedek priesthood is over and above the Levitical priesthood. It's an older priesthood. And it's a priesthood that wasn't only the priest over the Israelites. There was the priest over Abraham, which was not an Israelite, which was a Hebrew. So it's a broader priesthood. All right, Abraham is the grandfather of Israel. He's the great-grandfather of Judah. So Melchizedek was a priest without mother, without father, without days. Because Yahushua was made before Yahushua said, Yahushua was around before the light and darkness was separated. All right, so Melchizedek was the king, was a priest, is the king of righteousness before the Most High set up Levi. So Levi is still within the loins of Abraham. Levi is still in the loins of Abraham. So if Levi's in the loins of Abraham, Melchizedek is paying, so Levi is paying a tenth of what he has to Melchizedek. So Melchizedek's priesthood is above the priesthood of Levi. And Yahushua is the priest over of the order of Melchizedek, the king of righteousness. Okay?
The king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the people and take possessions for yourself.
So he said, you can take everything that's physical possession, you can keep it yourself. Go ahead.
Abram said to the king of Sodom, I lift up my hand to Yahweh Elohim, the Most High, maker of heaven and earth, if so much as a thread to a shoe strap, or if I shall take from anything of yours, so you shall not say, it is I who made Abram rich.
So toward the Most High God, he lifted his hand to the Most High God. All right, he lifted his hand to the Most High God. And he said, I'm not taking nothing from you, lest you should say that I'm the one that made you, I'm the one that made Abraham rich. I said, nah, I'm not taking anything from you, bro. Like, you ain't gonna get me in a trick bag where, yeah, we made Abraham rich. Nah, you ain't gonna do that. So what you doing, you want to merit what the Most High have given and shown you what to do. You understand? And when you gotta go to war, the Most High say get good counsel. Abraham went to war, he had good counsel before he went to war. Everybody knew, yo, Abraham about to go to war. It's almost like the Matrix. When Neo's fighting Morpheus. Okay, go ahead.
Far from me, only what the young men have eaten, and the share of the men who accompanied me, Ner, Eshcol, and Mamre.
He said, you can give them money, the soldiers that came with me from the other people, but I'm not taking nothing. Go ahead.
They will take their portion. Kal Sharam,
Kala Shalom,
Debar Yahweh,
Rabbi Yahweh,
Naisha,
Lai Sham,
Menashemai.
Onashima,
All that Yahweh said,
all the Yahweh said,
what we do here.
what we do in here. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. After these events, the word of Yahweh came to Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am a shield for you. Your reward is very great. And Abram said,
Shakarka. See that? Shakarka. All right, like Shakara or Yashashakar. So your reward, all right, like Shakara, reward yours. Right, so what I have for you, what I'm going to give to you for doing this faithfulness to me, for being dedicated to me, is going to be great. So that's what he's telling me. What I got for you is going to be something great and magnificent. It's Shakarka. All right. Shakar. Go ahead.
my Lord, Yahweh Elohim, what can you give me, seeing that I go childless, and the steward of my house is the Damascene Eliezer?
So Eliezer from Damascus. All right. Go ahead.
Then
Yeah,
Abram,
I don't have any children. Go ahead.
then Abram said, see to me, you have given no offspring, and see, my steward inherits me. Suddenly, the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, that one will not inherit you. Only him that shall come forth from within you shall inherit you.
So your seed is going to be the one that's take over what you have. Go ahead.
And he took him outside and said, gaze now toward the heavens, count the stars, if you are able to count them. And he said to him, so shall your offspring be. And he trusted in Yahweh, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. He said to him, I am Yahweh who brought you out of Kasdim to give you this land to inherit it. And he said, my Lord, Yahweh Elohim, whereby shall I know that I am to inherit it? And he said to him, take to me 3 heifers, 3 goats, 3 rams, a turtle dove, and a young dove. He took all these to him. He cut them in the center.
What verse you
Verse 10.
are you supposed to talk about 6, but go ahead.
And placed each piece opposite its counterpart. The birds, however, he did not cut up.
So now what he's doing is entering, and the Most High is about to enter into a covenant with him, showing him a prophecy and making these sacrifices to bring both of them together. I'll keep reading.
Birds of prey descended upon the carcasses, and Abram drove them away. And it happened, as the sun was about to set, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, a great darkness fell upon him. And he said to Abram, know with certainty that your offspring shall be aliens in a land and not their own, and they will serve them, and they will oppress them 400 years.
So they're going to be servants in the land that's not theirs and be oppressed and servants for 400 years. All right? So, Abraham, when you go into the ancient versions of the Torah in Exodus 12 and 40, and you go into the Greek scriptures, ancient Greek scriptures, and when you go into the scriptures of Galatians 3:17, it shows you that it was 430 years from Abraham to Moses coming out of Egypt, 430 years. So that's not the 400 years that this is referring to. This 400 years right here is referring to the 400 years that we're going to spend in North America, under the Edomites over there. Right, under those Edomites from 1619 until 2019. And we're in the 400th year now. Okay?
But also the nation that they will serve I shall judge, and afterwards they will leave with great wealth.
Mm-hmm.
As for you, you shall come to your ancestors.
Now, read that again?
And afterwards they shall leave with great wealth.
Let's see, this is Program of Warrior. Ashira, Ibagwa, Dan, Nakia, Akarya, Kai, Yatiza Awa, Ba, Prakash, Gadwan. It just says after. So they're going to be oppressed and enslaved for 400 years, and it says after. That's what it says. It says after. It says, and also to the nation that they serve, judge I, and after, yes, they come out in riches great. So it just says after 400 years. That's what it says. So it's any time after that 400 years. So let's look at the scripture as it says. A lot of times we look at the scripture and say, oh, and the timer went off. Ding, 400 years, okay, now that's when it's going to happen. But it says, the Most High said after. He says, Wakaria Khan Yataza Awa. He says, and after, all right, they shall go out. Okay, they shall leave. And so the Most High, when we leave, where we going to go? Into the wilderness. He's going to put us into the wilderness. Right? That's what's that chapter? Ezekiel 20. Now go ahead.
Verse 15. As for you, you shall come to your ancestors in peace. You shall be buried in a good old age.
Now Abraham is going to resurrect also when we look at the scriptures. And read second Ezra, chapter 1 and 2. Abraham is going to resurrect in the last days, the scriptures say. We're going to be for leaders and teachers to us. All right, go ahead. But they're gonna raise in the east. They ain't gonna raise in the west. So let's say, so our father Abraham going to go through it with his people, saying, nah, you ain't supposed to be following Muhammad. You're supposed to be following my great-great-grandson, Yahushua as the Most High, y'all got it all twisted. Let me show you. Nobody gonna have no excuse. We read 2nd Ezra chapter 1 and 2, you'll see the big picture of what I'm talking about. A lot of y'all over there wondering what I'm talking about. All right, go ahead.
And the fourth generation shall return here, for the iniquity of the Amorite shall not yet be full until then. So it happened that the sun set, and it was very dark.
Now he's going to a different prophecy. The Amorites, 4 generations after Abraham, the children of Israel went back into that land, right? 4 generations after Abraham. All right. Go ahead.
Behold, there was a smoky furnace and a torch of fire which passed between these pieces. On that day, Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, to your descendants.
That's the darkness and the gloom that's going to come upon the people. All right. The setting sun, the darkness of Israel, the smoking oven, the destruction, the burning, the total dismantling of our people. Go ahead.
On the day that Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying,
See, do all this about that covenant. The animals being split in half and set up was going into the covenant that the Most High is making with Abraham. Go ahead.
to your descendants have I given this land, from the river of Egypt.
The river of Egypt, which is the Nile River, the Nile in Egypt. All right. Now you got to look at this time period. What was the bounds of the kingdoms of Matazariah? You can't say it's all the way the whole river. You said, where is the bounds of that kingdom at this time period? And that's the boundary that we're going to have for our land. All right, go ahead.
To the great river, the Euphrates.
Euphrates, which is over in what country? What country is Euphrates in? And where does it run down into? Where does it empty out? What country does it run through as it empties out? Iraq. So Iraq, west, is ours. That's what Yahweh said. Go ahead.
The Kenite, the Kenizzite, and the Cadmonite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, and the Rephaim, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Girgashite, and the Jebusite, Kalashara, the Bar Yahweh, Na'isha, V'Nashemai. All that Yahweh said, what are we doing here?
Let me see how short. We stop at what, 7? 17, what? Looking now.
7.
All right, so Mario, you come on out. Come on up and take over. What did you just read? 16?
I read
What did you just stop at?
chapter 15, verse 21.
No, what did you just stop at? What did you stop at?
I just
16, 21?
That's the end of 15.
So you're gonna pick up down again. He's already in 6. So you're gonna talk 16 and 1.
Mario ben Parzak ben Gad ben Shalom.
Amadwa, the rock.
Yabakatan Hal Hashem Hashem.
Yabarakaya Hawa Hashem Yahshua. Alright.
Vasharaya, Shabath, Vasharaya, Sarai, Ashar, wife, Abraham, Abram, Al, No, Yalada, Born, Lawan, Walaha, Walaha, had born children, Shepakah, no, Shabath, said, Yalaha, you say that again?
Hmm?
Just start the
Okay. Go ahead.
Washaraya,
Sharia.
Washaraya, Ashath, Abaram, La'am, Yaladha, Lalam, Lala, Shepakah, Matzazarian, Washamha, Hagar, Watha Amar, Sharia, Al, Abaram, Hana, Na'a, Itazaranya, Yahweh, Maladath, Ba'a, Na'a, Al, Shepakathya, Awalia, Abanha, Mamanha, Vayashamai, Abaram, Laquawan, Sharia,
Good.
was a quack,
Thought.
was a quack, Sharia, Ashaf, Abaram, Af, Hagar, Hamatzariam,
I'm not the what?
Hamatzariam,
Close. I'm not the
Hamatzariah, Shepakatha, Shepakatha, Makwataza, Ishar, Shanyam, Shabath, Abaram, Ba'aratza, Kana'in, Wathan, Atha, Labram, Ayasha, Lawan, La'asha.
Okay, so in those first three verses, we see that Shalia was Abraham's wife. She couldn't have children. and she had a handmaid, Mashapak, or his family. Shabkah is handmaid. Okay, Mashapak, those words from family are the same three words. Those letters are the same three letters for handmaid. Okay, Shabkah. So Sha, Pa, and Ka is handmaid. But Mashpakah, same four letters. So the word for family is the same word for handmaid, just with a mayam on the front of it. Okay? So you see the relationship between that function of the handmaid and that function of the family working together. So her name was Hagar, the Egyptian handmaid, right? The Egyptian servant of Sarah. All right. So now when Sarah couldn't have children, she said, "The Most High have caused me not to have babies. So now I want you to go and have sex with my Shabkah, my handmaid. And I want you to have children for me through her. So I want you to go into her and have children with her." And Abraham listened, to what Sarah had to say, and he did what she suggested. So Sarah said, "Here, take my handmaid." So a lot of people say, well, there was something that, Abraham had all these servants already, so it wasn't a whole lot was lacking. But that one area Abraham was lacking because of his wife's inability to have children. So in these captivities in America, the captivities in England, Turkey, there may be something else that's lacking in the household besides not having children. So which of the women are going to say, you know what, we need a wife, or you need a wife to do X, Y, and Z. You should take another wife. All right? So he was with Hagar, and he dwelt in the land. He went into her and laid with her. Then she became his wife also. Wife meaning became his woman, his possession, all right, his property, all right. It's his woman now, and she's his man. Abraham is her property. Abraham is her possession also. But the lordship comes from Abraham over his women. Okay? I'll just go to the English.
Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children. She had an Egyptian maidservant, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said to Abram, "See now, Yahweh has restrained me from bearing. Consort now with my maidservant. Perhaps I will be built up from her." And Abram heeded the voice of Sarai. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar the Egyptian,
Right.
her maidservant, after 10 years of Abram's dwelling in the land of Canaan,
Mm-hmm.
and gave her to Abram, her husband, to him as a wife. He consorted with Hagar, and she conceived.
Let me show you an example, man. These people in this book right here, the Sepharia, they translated that as concubine, which is the Hebrew word payalagash. But it doesn't say payalagash, or it would say pilgesh. But it doesn't say pilgesh or payalagash. It says asha. It says lawa asha, to wife. All right? To Abraham, her man, to him, to wife. La asha. Doesn't say anything about a concubine. So it says it was, now maybe it was his concubine, we're not saying it wasn't, but the word here says wife. Go ahead.
And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was lowered in her esteem. So Sarai said to Abram, "The outrage against me is due to you. It was I who gave my maidservant into your bosom." And when she saw that she had conceived, I became lowered in her esteem. Let Yahweh judge between me and you. Abram said to Sarai, behold, your maidservant is in your hand.
So meaning, it's your fault, what she said. She said, it's your fault, it's upon you. So when Sarah, when the woman got pregnant, Hagar, which is Abraham's wife now, she lost respect for Sarah. Shabath. And no woman should ever lose respect for any member of her family and express that lack of respect in any way. They should always work toward maintaining respect no matter what it takes, because that's the example we see cause the problem in Abraham's marriage with Hagar and Shabath. The newer wife was bucking up against the wife that was already there. You can take that how you want it. She was out of order. And because Shabath was already humble. And said, yeah, take her as your wife here. She was already humble. But then Hagar came in, and then she lost respect. All right? So she lost respect for her. All right? And Sarah went to Abram like, yo, this is your fault. Sarah didn't go to Hagar like, well, this is what we're going to do. I don't know who you think you talk. She said, no, I'm going to just leave it and we go talk to Abraham. And that's how a lot of you women got to handle these problems. Go talk to your head. A lot of you brothers that got more than one wife or two wives, the head is going to make the decision. Do you think Hagar liked it? Do you think Hagar liked it with the news that Abraham's about to give her? You think she liked the news that she's about to get? Nah. But she didn't sit around saying, well, you shouldn't do that, I'm not going to do that, and blah, 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 blah. She said, okay, well, it is what it is. But a lot of y'all women be told to do simple stuff like, you know what? Just don't reply. Don't get aggressive. Don't pick no fights. Don't get hostile. Just, flow with the program. Oh, nah, and then that pride rises up in you. That pride say, no, I'm going to tell this heifer what time it really is. I'm going to put her in check because she don't think she's going to be doing X, Y, Z to me. And it's just going to just ride like that. Nah, I don't get down like that. I'm going to show her who she is and who I am. Put her in her place. You see? There wasn't none of that going on right here. Everything fell back on Hagar. It's your fault that this little Hamite chick that you went into, because I told you to, is getting out of order. It's your fault. That's what Sarah said. Sarah said, the wrong done to me is your fault. I put my maid in your bosom. And now she see that she's pregnant. Now I'm lowered in her esteem. So now Hagar was like, I'm pregnant. Can't tell me nothing. I got the baby, you don't. So she was bringing, in other words, she was bringing something to the table of that marriage. They got the same husband. Analyze everything. She's bringing something to the table in that relationship, in that marriage, in that family, that Sarah, who's the older, who's the more tenured wife, Sarah's not bringing this to the table. And Hagar thought that to be a license where she didn't have to treat Sarah with that respect anymore. And that's what a lot of you women do. You come into marriages and, oh, sister, when we, our husband, blah, 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 blah. And we gonna, our husband, and oh yeah, girl, let's study these scriptures and blah, blah, blah. Then when you get the man, it's F-U-B. F-U-B. See, that spirit of humility leaves. Why? Because you don't got in the man's pants now. You don't got what you wanted. Now you feel like you dominating over that man, and that man supposed to turn cartwheels for you now every time you come into the room. But he haven't lost his love for his other wife, but you thinking because you knew on the scene that now everything's supposed to revolve around you and what you want and how you think things should be done. And it don't work like that. Does not work like that. All right? So that's what Hagar is showing us. Go ahead. Call your verse.
Genesis chapter 16, verse 6. Abram said to Sarai, behold, your maidservant is in your hand. Do to her as you see fit. And Sarai dealt harshly with her, so she fled from her.
So Abraham was like, Abraham was like, handle your business. Whatever you think you need to do, he's like, handle it. Take care of it. However you need to handle your business, go ahead and knock it out. Do what you think you need to do. That's what Abraham is saying. All right. Whatever you think you need to do, all right, go ahead and knock it out. And Abraham, it says Sarah treated her very harshly, all right? Treated her very harshly. See that? Let me get my thing working again, man. Ooh, is that 17 now?
16.
16:6.
Okay.
So she humbled her. All right, so she put some type of affliction on her. She humbled her. We should have thought enough. All right, so she humbled her. She put her in a lower position, lower state. So she brought her back down to reality. Go ahead. And Sarah and Hagar did what? Hagar ran away. She said, "Well, I don't want to deal with this relationship no more." Everybody, and this is the exact same thing you women go through now. You're in a relationship with a man, something happens in a relationship that you don't like, and you pull a Hagar. Well, I'm leaving. I'm not in. I mean, that's that bondage mentality. Because Hagar was like, Sarah was like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna deal with this issue and I'm gonna check it. I'm not going nowhere. So Sarah said, I'm going to deal with this woman harshly for what she has done. Why? Because she is being disrespectful towards me. That's what Hagar did. Even though she was pregnant, she was being disrespectful toward Shabath. So Shabath said, I'm going to deal harshly with her. What that harshness was, we don't know. So once she dealt harshly with her, Hagar said, I'm leaving. All right? I'm leaving. So she ran away. So she ran from before her. She ran off. Go ahead.
The angel of Yahweh found her.
So now the Malachim of Yahweh is coming to her to convict her spirit now. So a lot of y'all women know y'all not supposed to be with the man you with. And you know you ain't supposed to have left the man that you left. A lot of y'all know that you're wrong according to the laws of the Most High, but you don't care. And you got that angel in your spirit that's convicting you. God, what the angel do? Go ahead.
Found her by the spring of water in the desert.
So she found a spring of water. So she was like, oh, I found this relief of water. Now I can just relax and chill. I got the water in the wilderness, man. It's hard to find water in the wilderness, so I'm feeling refreshed. And just when she feel refreshed, the angel gonna be like, take your butt back home. Go ahead.
At the spring on the road to
Mhm.
Shur. And he said, Hagar, maidservant of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going? And she said, I'm running away from my mistress, from Sarai, my mistress.
Mm-hmm.
And an angel of Yahweh said to her, return to your mistress.
So that angel have told a lot of you women to return. You made a vow to a man, and then you let other people talk you out of that vow. That's wicked. Return to that man. You made a vow to a man and something happened that you don't like in a relationship, and you said, I'm leaving. Return to that man. Don't be like Hagar. Read.
And submit yourself to her domination.
So submit yourself, meaning to roll with the system that's in place righteously. And don't get out of order. If you be in order, then Sarah would have been out of order, and Shadayah would have gotten checked by Abraham. But Shadayah was not out of order. Hagar was out of order. So Shadayah was checking Hagar for being out of order, and Hagar didn't like it. Now we know now the woman can't just get up and say, I'm leaving this relationship. We know they can't do that now. So it has to be worked out in a different way now. But it has to be all begun in righteousness. Go ahead.
And the angel of Yahweh said to her, I will greatly increase your offspring, and they will not be counted of abundance. And an angel of Yahweh said to her,
So that's talking about the Arab nations coming out of Ishmael. It's a lot of them. Go ahead.
Behold, you will conceive and give birth to a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, for Yahweh has heard your prayer.
Ishmael meaning he has heard of God, Yashemai Allah. So Yashemai Allah was born from a Hebrew father and a Hamite Egyptian mother. All right, he was born from a Hebrew father and a Hamite Egyptian mother. And he was raised in the ways of righteousness. He was raised in obedience to the laws of the Most High. Ishmael was not a wicked man when we look in the scriptures. His descendants became exceedingly wicked. Okay?
And he shall be a wild ass of a man.
He shall be a wild ass of a man, a wild donkey, dwelling in wild places, in the desert places, alone by himself, like asses do. All right, go ahead.
His hand against everyone.
His hand is going to be against everyone because of the principle that he put in his religion called jihad, which is anybody that doesn't accept Islam, we got to go to war against all people that are against Islam, against all people that threaten Islam as a religion. We have to go to war against them. So his hand is against literally every man. Go ahead.
And everyone's hand against him.
And all these nations are going to fight or have fought against him because they don't want to accept the religion that he's trying to force upon them. Go ahead.
And over all his brothers shall he dwell.
Okay, so Ishmael is the one you see in the Middle East that's have the riches. It said wa'al panya, and over, right, and over the face, all right, or of the face of all his brothers, he's gonna dwell, all right. So he's gonna lay down. He's gonna be living in the presence and above all of his brothers. All of his brothers meaning what? Midian is his brother. Isaac is his brother. All right? So he's the one that's ruling and controlling the resources in the Arabian Peninsula. Then the ones that are under these rulers in the Arabian Peninsula, those people are from the other tribes of Abraham, coming from Midian, primarily. Other sons also Joktan, but the ones that are like the royal families, the ones really controlling the show, those are all Ishmael's descendants, Hagar's descendants that she had born from Abraham. Go ahead.
And she called the name of Yahweh, who spoke to her. You are the All-High in the vision, for she said.
So she said, El Roi, all right? So you're the God that sees, Allah Ra'ya. So here we got two Allahs. We got Allah Al-Yawan, which is the Most High God. We got Allah Shadiyah, God Almighty. And we have Allah Ra'ya, the God that sees. So these are things that Ishmael is being taught from his mother, and he hears his father saying. So what do you think Ishmael is going to call God? What do you think he's going to call the Most High? Allah. And Arabs to this day call the Most High Allah. All right. Okay.
could I have seen, even here after having seen?
Let me say it again.
For she said, could I have seen, even after here having,
And also here, go ahead. Go ahead.
after having seen? Therefore the well was called the well of the living one, appearing to me. It is between Kadesh and Bered. Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son that Hagar bore him Ishmael.
Right.
And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to Abram.
Right.
Kalshara,
Kalashara.
Barihala,
Yahweh.
Naishah,
Naishah.
Menashemah,
Menashemah.
all they have said.
All they have said.
What we doing here?
What we doing? So Abraham was 86. So Abraham was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. All right, so 17, 1 through 27.
When Abram was 99 years old, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said to him, I am El Shaddai. Walk before me and be perfect. I will set my covenant between me and you.
So El Shaddai meaning God Almighty. And this is the same thing that we see in Exodus chapter 6. When the Most High says, my name is Allah Shaddai, but by my name Yahweh. Okay? Go ahead.
And I will increase you most exceedingly.
Excuse me one second. Go ahead.
Abram threw himself upon his face, and Elohim spoke with him, saying, As for me, this is my covenant with you. You shall be a father of a multitude of nations. Your name shall no longer be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham, for I have made you the father of a multitude of nations. I will make you most exceedingly fruitful, and make nations of you, and kings shall descend from you. I will ratify my covenant between me and you, and between your offspring after you, throughout the generations, as an everlasting covenant, to be on a high to you, and to your offspring after you. I will give you and to your offspring after you the land of your sojourns, the whole of the land of Canaan, as an everlasting possession, and I shall be a God to them. Elohim said to Abraham, and as for you, you shall keep my covenant, you and your offspring after you, throughout your generations. This is my covenant, which you shall keep between me and you and your offspring after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and that shall be the sign of the covenant between me and you. At the age of 8 days, every male among you shall be circumcised.
What verse you in, man?
12.
One second. Let's see. So Abraham's going to be the father of many nations. So as going to be, his name is Abraham now, father of a multitude. All right. The Most High says he's going to make him fruitful. Fruitful. He's going to make him fruitful. Nations are going to come from him, and kings are going to come from him. Now he's going to keep a covenant. Now the initial covenant he made was the covenant of inheriting and controlling that land. All right. What verse you in again?
12.
So he said, keep his covenant. Now remember, Ishmael is supposed to be in covenant with the Most High also. That's why that's why they had to invent Islam. Because if not, the Arabs would have been joined with us. And us showing them and teaching them that they, as children of Abraham, are supposed to be following behind the Torah and following Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Because they come from Abraham also. Okay? Well, now this is the token of the covenant. This is another covenant also. This is the covenant, the agreement between me and you and your offspring. Every male shall have his foreskin of his penis cut off. Pull the skin over the penis and cut it off when he's like 8 days old. Pull the skin up, cut it off. All right. Start again.
At the age of 8 days, every male among you shall be circumcised throughout your generations.
Throughout all the generations, which means those people that come from the Arabs, the Bedouin, the Hispanics, all right, white people, Latinos, and so-called blacks, and indigenous peoples in the Americas. All of these people are children of Abraham. They're all children of Abraham, so all of them supposed to be circumcised. But the leaders and the keepers of that covenant is Yasha Allah. Go ahead.
He that is born in the household or purchased with money.
He that is purchased with money. So even to this day, you can purchase somebody with money, man. You can purchase somebody with money. Go ahead.
From any stranger who is not of your offspring.
So they got to be circumcised. Read.
He that is born in your household or purchased with money, with your money, shall surely be circumcised. Thus my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
So we got to have this thing forever. Circumcision is forever upon all of the males. Go ahead.
And uncircumcised men.
So if you're not if you're not circumcised, you better get circumcised, man. While you got doctors and anesthesia to do it. Because you go into the wilderness, I don't know what kind of anesthesia you're gonna have. And it's a commandment that all Israelite men be circumcised. I mean, you gotta take that skin as you a baby, pull it over the penis, and you gotta cut it off. Or you cut it, smooth stroke, or cut it, pounding something on it to break that skin off of it. And all of us here are circumcised. All right? All of us here are circumcised. All right? Now, if you can still get, if you miss the 8th day, that doesn't mean don't do it. You gotta still get circumcised. And the circumcision of the flesh must match circumcision of your heart also. Your heart has to be in covenant with the Most High. And if you're still breaking the Sabbath, if you're still using captivity as an excuse to be disobedient, your heart is not circumcised toward the Most High. Circumcised heart meaning this is the agreement that we make, this is what we're going to do. So you got to circumcise your heart and be obedient to the Most High and follow after His Son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Go ahead.
The flesh of whose foreskin shall not be circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from its people. So
man, the Most High said this is something that affects your soul if you ain't circumcised. You're going to be cut off from your people. Read.
He has invalidated my covenant.
Go ahead.
And Elohim said to Abraham, as for Sarai, your wife, do not call her name Sarai, for Sarah is her name. So Sarah's her name, which means Shara, which means female ruler. Okay. I will bless her, indeed. I will give you a son through her. I will bless her, and she shall give rise to nations. Kings of peoples will rise from her. And Abraham threw himself upon his face. So
kings of people are going to come from her. That's why her name had to be changed to Shara. Because Shara is going to be the bringer forth of those people that come from Yashar Allah. Shar and Shara are the same word. One is a female form for ladies, and the other is a masculine form for men. Shar means ruler, and Shara means female ruler. So she's going to bring forth these rulers. So all that come from her is the rulers. And that's why you have the major powers and contributor on the planet Earth today, in government and in things that are beneficial toward the people. You have who? The so-called white man, and the so-called black, Hispanics, and Indians. You have Esau, and you have Jacob on the earth today. We are the rulers of the people in our actions or through our actual running of the government. White man runs the government. We've been running stuff behind the scenes with the agriculture, We built America. We showed America the form of government they're supposed to be using. We showed America, the white people, how to survive when they first came into North America, Central, South America, the Caribbean. We showed them how to set up the land. We showed them the rivers. We showed them how to fish. Showed them how to deal with the seasons and stuff. They would have died if it wasn't for us showing them how to survive in the Americas, man. And we built up the economy for them when they tried to make us slaves in America. We built up that economy, the cotton, the strawberries, the tobacco, okay, building the ships, building the roads. Who do you think built up all these things in America, man? And then because the so-called Chinese man had experience in building that wall in China, and it could have long, straight, and erect walls and pathways and roads, so-called white men said, okay, we're gonna use you to build up these railroads. So they helped build up the railroads, man. But all of these are what? Shemitic families. All right, go ahead.
And Abraham threw himself upon his face and laughed. And he thought, shall a child be born to a 100-year-old man? And shall Sarah, a 90-year-old woman, give birth? And Abraham,
So they were 10 years apart. Abraham and Sarah was about 10 years apart. 10 years apart. So when Abraham was 30, Sarah was 20. That means when Abraham was 19, that girl was when Abraham was 18, that girl was 8. And that girl was 20, she was 10. When Abraham was 20, she was 10. And when she was 17, Abraham was 27. And he probably took her around that time period. Maybe like between 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Because that was the time that when a woman would take a man in those times. So now you probably gotta bump it up now to 16, 17, 18. All right, and then now 18 and up. Okay? Because the woman's body wants to reproduce. The woman's body wants to reproduce. Then when she gets older, she loses her eggs. When she starts having her cycle, she loses her eggs. Her eggs start to get lost. She gets fewer and fewer eggs. Or she just stopped having babies. She can't get pregnant no more. And the Most High told Sarah, you're gonna have a baby now. And Abraham laughed. Abraham said, how's she gonna have a baby? Well, Abraham was gonna have a baby. Go ahead.
and Abraham said to Al-Hayman, oh, that Ishmael might live before you.
No, let Ishmael, let the Arabs, right, let the Bedouin, let them live before you. That's what the Most High said. Go ahead.
Al-Hayman said, nonetheless, your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac.
Isaac, which is Yatzakak, which means he laughs. Go ahead.
And I will fulfill my covenant with him.
Because Abraham laughed, and then Sarah laughed when she heard it too. Sarah heard it when she heard it too. She laughed. Yo, this is funny. I'm gonna have a baby. And Abraham laughed, but Sarah laughed and did what? She lied about it. I didn't laugh. That's how a lot of you women are too. You lie to somebody to their face about nothing. Knowing the Most High, how you gonna lie to an angel, the Most High, and to the Most High? Oh, I didn't laugh. Nah, I did. On my mama. Well, we just got some bad news about your mother. Go ahead.
And I will fulfill my covenant with him.
The covenant is with us, not with Ishmael. It's with Isaac. It ain't with Ishmael. So it was the Arabs that brought Islam out. That ain't for us. For us Israelites. The people that came into this land of Turkey as slavery, as slaves. People that came to America as slaves. The people that were already over there and conquered and enslaved as the indigenous people conquered by white people. Islam is not for us. The covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's what's for us. Go ahead.
As an everlasting covenant for his offspring after him. But regarding Ishmael, I have heard him.
So Ishmael was heard. Go ahead.
I have blessed him.
I'm going to bless Ishmael. Ishmael got his blessing. Go ahead.
Will make him fruitful and will increase him most exceedingly.
They're going to have a bunch of people too. Go ahead.
He will beget 12 princes, and I will make him to a great nation.
So they're going to have 12 princes, meaning 12 rulers are going to come out of him. And these 12 rulers have the 12 families that are controlling the Middle East of the Arab nations. Ishmael's family, the 12 sons of Ishmael controlling all of that. Go ahead.
That I will maintain my covenant.
The covenant, the promise, the rulership, the land, the spiritual connection is going to be with who?
Through Isaac.
Right.
Whom Sarah will bury him by this time next year.
Go ahead.
And when he had finished speaking with him, Elohim ascended
Right.
ascended from upon Abraham. Then Abraham took his son Ishmael and all those servants born in his household, and all those he had purchased for money, all the male members of Abraham's house, and he circumcised the flesh of their surplusage.
What's that word?
Surplusage.
Let me see. Let me see the word. Yeah, surplusage. A surplusage. The extra skin that hangs over the tip of the, what they call the corona. The head of the penis has an extra skin when the baby is born. So you cut that off to bring him back into covenant with Yahweh. And that's what it takes. Now he's the inheritor of all that land. Right? So once he gets that circumcision, he's saying, I'm going to uphold these laws. I'm going to uphold my birthright. I'm going to uphold the righteousness of my father Abraham. That's what you're saying. That's what circumcision is supposed to represent. And it's a covenant of the Most High. And go ahead.
On that very day, as Elohim had spoken with him, Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised on the flesh of his surplusage.
Which is the foreskin. Go ahead.
And his son Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised on the flesh of his surplusage. On that very day, Abraham circumcised with Ishmael his son, and all the people of his household, born in his household, and purchased for money from a stranger, were circumcised with him.
Second. That's the Lech. Okay. It's called the Lech. So you have foreskin. Okay. So Ishmael was 13 when he was circumcised. Alright, and Abraham was 99 when he was circumcised on the same day. And everybody that was part of his household was circumcised on that same day also. Alright. All the servants of his house. So you as Israelite men now, what do you do when you get a servant, man? Meaning these Gentiles came into covenant with Israel also. And with the Most High also, and that's what the circumcision represents. So when they come into the land, they had that little small portion of land too. And they're going to have a portion of land when you look at the end of the chapter, the book of Ezekiel. Gentiles going to have a little bit of land into the land of Israel also. All right? So they coming into that same covenant with us. But we the barriers and the leaders and the heads of that covenant, and they receive it also if they part of our household. If they got their flesh circumcised, if they join themselves unto us, and if they bless us, the Most High says He's going to bless them. All right, go ahead.
Kalashra,
Kalashara,
Bariha,
Tabari Yahweh,
Naisha,
Naishan,
Nashma,
Onashama.
all that Yahweh said,
All the Yahweh said,
what we're doing here.
what we doing here. All right, let's go to the, Aliyashan, let's go to the Haftarah.
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 27 through Isaiah chapter 41, verse 16. Why do you say, O Jacob, and declare, O Yasha'Allah, my way is hidden from Yahweh, and my cause has been passed over by my Elohim? Could you not have known, even if you had not heard, that the eternal Elohim, who is Yahweh, creator of the ends of the earth, who neither wearies nor tires, whose discernment is beyond investigation, he gives strength to the weary, and for the powerless he gives abundant might. Youths may weary and tire, and young men may constantly falter, but those whose hope is in Yahweh will have renewed strength.
So all these people, the Most High is saying that if you hope in Yahweh, you're going to have renewed strength, meaning you're going to be getting stronger in your cause, stronger in your determination. So how you in the truth now for 5 years and you still saying we in captivity so I can't do this? You don't want to do it. You don't want to give up that. Most of it's always about a job and some daggone money, man. That's why we in captivity so we can't do this. It's always about money. Ain't never about marriage. It's never about a house. All right? It's never about what you want to do. It's always about what the Most High wants to do. I can't keep the Sabbath because I'm in captivity. I can't stop from spending money on the Sabbath because I'm in captivity. Most High can reward you for that. What kind of reward you want from the Most High? An excuse reward or a diligent servant reward? A reward of a servant that made excuses and constantly was falling short in this area all the time? What kind of servant you want from you? What kind of servant would you want? Servant is going to do what you said to do no matter what they had to do to get it done, even if it meant them going without? Or the servant that said, well, yeah, you know, I couldn't do this because I'm in captivity, man, so I can't really do it this way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm about to go on vacation, though. Okay, well, our people just lost, man. So you should be having that renewed strength every time. Renewed strength, man. What did it say? What did it say? Read that part again. Call the verse.
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31.
Uh-huh.
But those whose hope is in Yahweh.
Those whose hope is in what?
And Yahweh.
Whose hope is in what?
Yahweh.
So your hope is in your job.
Yahweh.
Your hope is in your tax refund.
Yahweh.
Those whose hope is in Yahweh. Meaning what? You're hoping toward Yahweh executing his will. So everything that you have is going toward that hope, including your tax refund, including your house you just sold, including the hours you're working at your job. But how can you offer to the Most High a polluted praise? This money you got now is blood money because you're supposed to be dead for working on the Sabbath, but you offering the Most High blood money. And you think you're doing something good. It's blood money, man. Most High don't want that money from working on the Sabbath, polluting his holy days. All right? All clean shaven and bald for your job. Most High don't want that money that you got from breaking his commandment. That might as well be drug money you bring into the Most High. Because the penalty for breaking the Sabbath is what? Penalty for a witch is what?
Death.
You might as well be a sorcerer, man. Okay?
Will have renewed strength. They will grow wings like eagles.
Mm-hmm.
They will run and not grow tired. They will walk and not grow weary.
So this is something that a level that we're gonna go to. We gotta grow to that level. Go ahead.
Listen silently to me, O islands, and let the kings renew strength. Let them approach then let them speak. Together we will approach it for judgment. Who aroused Abraham from the east?
Wait. Who arise, is Abraham in brackets or something? You see that? See, this what these people, huh? Yeah, they always do that, man. It says a righteous man. It's talking about Abraham, but they don't have a right to make you say Abraham if the text don't say Abraham. What verse is that? Verse 2, right? Mamazrak. See? It says Mamazrak. It says Tzadak. Ya Quada Achia. Ya Quada Afwa and called him. So, read that again.
Who aroused from the east?
Who arise from Mizrah or Mazarak? Who arise from Mazarak? Right? From the east. A righteous man, meaning Abraham. Okay, go ahead.
Who would proclaim his righteousness at every footstep?
Who what?
Who would proclaim his righteousness at every footstep?
Mm-hmm.
Let him place nations before him.
So the Most High made these nations bow down to Abraham because he conquered them. Go ahead.
And may he dominate kings. May his sword make victims like dust, and his bow like shredded straw. Let him pursue them and pass on safely, on a path where his feet have never come.
So he went and he conquered these people. This is what Abraham did. Go ahead.
Who wrought and accomplished it? He who called the generations from the beginning. I am Yahweh the first, and with the last ones I will be the same.
So Yahweh said, I'm the one that made all this happen, gave Abraham his power and his strength. Go ahead.
The islands saw and feared. The ends of earth shuddered. They approached and came. But a man would help his fellow, and to his brother he would say, be strong. The carpenter encourages the goldsmith. The finishing hammerer encourages the one who pounds from the start. He would say of the glue that it is good, strengthen it with nails, that it not falter. But
Those
you,
are what? Working together. Go ahead.
but you, Yasha'Allah, my servant Jacob, whom I have chosen, offspring of Abraham, who love me, whom I have grasped from the ends of the earth.
So Abraham, his friend of the Most High. Go ahead.
I have summoned you from its leaders, and I have said to you, you are my servant. I have chosen you and not despised you.
So Israel, Yasha'Allah, we are the servant. We are the chosen. We are the seed. Okay? We are the seed. We are the servant of the Most High, Yasha'Allah, Israel is. Go ahead.
Fear not, for I am with you. Do not go astray, for I am your Elohim. I have strengthened you, even helped you, even supported you with my righteous hand.
So the Most High will help us in our work, especially when our work is for Him. Everybody understand that? When your work is for the Most High, you're going to get that strength that you need to do it because the Most High is honoring what you're doing. Now, they ain't talking about you trying to build this, because we got churches all around the world. They ain't and religious buildings. They ain't talking about religious buildings. Talking about you really doing what the Most High said to do. Starting first where? Where you start first doing the work of the Most High? Within your own self, your own temple. You being obedient to the Most High. Go ahead.
Behold, all who are angry with you shall be ashamed and humiliated. Those who contend with you shall be like nothing and shall perish. You shall seek them, but not find them. The men who struggle with you, they shall be like utter nothingness. The men who battle with you, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, grasp your right hand. The one who says to you, fear not, for I help you. Fear not, O worm-weak Jacob, O people of Yasha'Allah, for I shall be your help. The words of Yahweh and your Redeemer. I am the Holy One of Yasha'Allah. Behold, I have made you a new sharp threshing tool with many blades. You shall thresh mountains and grind them small, and make the hills like chaff.
Let's talk about how we're going to conquer these nations. all of them gonna be beat small by us, the children of Israel. The nobodies of the earth. Don't even got a seat in the UN as a nation. Sure, Jamaica has a seat. Haiti has a seat. All right, Cuba has a seat. Colombia has a seat. But we, as a collective nation of people, don't have no representation in the United Nations building. Nobody's uniting and trying to bring our people together. Not even all these black nations, all these Hispanic, Latino, indigenous nations, none of them trying to gather all their people together as one nation. All right? Go ahead.
You shall winnow them, and the wind shall carry them off.
And we're going to conquer all these different nations once we unite together as one. Go ahead.
The storm will scatter them, but you will rejoice in Yahweh, and the Holy One of Yashar'Allah will be glory.
Okay. So we're going to glory in the name of Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua. We're going to conquer all the nations, man. We're going to conquer them all. All right? Like straw being chopped up. You understand that? I don't really think y'all understand what that means, man. Do you understand what that really means? All, you see the white men on fighting wars, right? Beating people down. And he conquered the whole world, right? He got military bases in Turkey, Iraq, Kuwait, all these places, right? Controlling the whole world. But the Most High said that's going to be you. You're going to be the one controlling the whole world. In strength, power, order, law, and righteousness. You understand that? And you're going to be the instrument of war that the Most High is going to use to conquer. Everybody saw Terminators before, right? That's going to be us. Indestructible. Little weapons ain't going to be able to destroy us when we go, like, get in that Terminator mode. Everybody understand that? Indestructible. On the spiritual and the physical level. All right, let's go into John chapter 8, verse 51. John 8, 51 and 58. John 8, verse 51 through 58. John 8, 51, 58. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, 8:51. John chapter 8. Are you in chapter 8? All right, start at verse 51. And go to verse 58.
And I seek not
51? No, chapter, verse 51. Go ahead.
verily,
Right.
verily,
Meaning truly, truly. Go ahead.
I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death.
What does it mean, keep my sayings? That means to shamar, to guard or protect the word of the Most High. How you guard and protect the word of the Most High when you saying you can't do that when you excuses? Well, you need to be fired from your job then. If you can't do this job that the Most High, you said the Most High called you to do. We just read in Isaiah chapter 40 and 41, that when you say you're going to do his job, if you trust in him, you're going to be able to do what you need to do. We just read that, right? So either what you're doing in the Most High or you call yourself to do it. One of the two. Because once you are locked into the zone where you are serving the Most High, Yahweh said, he that what? If anyone guards and keeps my word. How do you guard and keep it? That means ain't nothing gonna happen to this word. I'm gonna protect it. You ain't taking this thing from me. I'm gonna be like, well, I can't guard this one because we in captivity, so you can keep that. I'm not gonna guard this one. Oh, here, I can guard the whole book right here, but we in captivity, so I'm not gonna guard that one here. Take this one back. We in captivity. But the rest of you ain't gonna get it. But this one right here that you ain't guarding, this is the one the Most High said if you don't guard it, he gonna put you to death. That's one. Well, you know, I gotta cut my beard, man. I gotta cut my hair bald because see, my understanding of the Hebrew and don't cut your hair bald really mean this. Okay, so I ain't gonna keep that one either. But I'm gonna guard and protect the rest of this. I'm gonna guard and protect this. Well, you ain't supposed to eat no fish, shrimp, or lobster, or no stove when they cook that. Well, we in captivity. So I can still go to Domino's Pizza in America and get this pizza that got food and all kind of unlawful stuff in it because we in captivity, so here, take that too. But I'm gonna guard the rest of it. Nah, you a hypocrite. Because all the things the Most High said to do, you choosing, well, I'm not gonna do this one, I'm gonna do this one, I'm not gonna do that one, and you thinking it's okay with the Most High. So you gotta guard all the words of Yahweh, man. How Yahweh gonna be your master? I'm gonna give you a better example than that. I'm not gonna give you no metaphor. When the people told them, don't preach in the name of Yahweh, because you're in captivity to us, you're in control over us. When Paul went to Corinth, when the people that were right here in Turkey, in Ephesus, all right, when they were right here, they told them people, well, if y'all keep saying y'all follow Yahweh Shai, we're going to kill you. What did they say? Well, we in captivity, so we might just zip our lips. But we in captivity. They do that now, they kept standing firm. So you got to stand firm, even if you're in captivity. Even if they threaten you. Because you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What did they do when they were in the land of Israel? And they said, anybody that keep the Sabbath, we're going to kill you. Anybody keeping these laws, we're going to kill you. What did Israel do? What did most of Israel do? Most of them did what? Most of them said, well, the Romans in charge, the Greeks are in charge. We got to do, we in domination under them. So we got to do what they say to do. But what did the Maccabees say? The Maccabees said, you know what? I don't care if I gotta live in the mountains, in the caves. I'm not gonna transgress the covenant of the Most High. I don't care if I gotta live in the mountains and caves. I'm not gonna go against these commandments. And they left their homes. They left their horses, their chariots. They left their furniture. They left their tile roofs, their bathrooms in their house. They left all of that so they could go and keep the commandments. What have you left so you can keep the commandments? What have you left so you can be obedient even in captivity? I tell you what, zero. People don't leave nothing. They got the same comfortable life, comfortable job, comfortable transportation. And they say, well, we in captivity. Are you comfortable as heck to be in captivity? You ain't no Kunta Kinte. You ain't Kunta Kinte in captivity. You can walk all up and down the streets of America, highway to highway. Apply for a job. Make more money, make less money. You get the same size house or less house. Yahweh said what? If anyone guard my commandments. Go ahead.
Then said the jaws
Now, if any man keep my commandment, what? That shall what?
Then said the Jews,
Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. Which means if you break these sayings of Yahweh, your behind is going to die the eternal death, the second death. That's what he's talking about. When he say never see death, he means he shall never see the second death. And he talking about the first death. Because remember, Revelation talk about the first death and the second death. So he that keep my saying shall what?
shall not never see death.
Never see death. So you gotta keep it saying. So he that keep my sayings see death. Is that what it says? Huh? Answer me. Is that what it says? Huh? So how is somebody gonna try to say that? That's a lie. Read verse 52.
Then said the Jews unto him,
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that thou hast a devil. Abraham is dead, and the
Prophets.
prophets, if a man keep my saying, he shall never
Taste.
taste of death.
So he said, what about our father Abraham and the prophets? But he ain't talking about the first death. He talking about all. He talking about the second death. Go ahead.
Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead?
So he said, Abraham died already. You ain't greater than him. Read.
And the prophets are the whom makest thou thieves
No, we didn't. That's fine.
thyself.
So he said, who are you making yourself to be? Who you supposed to be? Go ahead.
Jews,
Yahweh.
Yahushai, onward,
The W silent.
answered, if I honor,
If I what? If I honor.
if I honor my father, that
Start the sentence again.
Yahushua answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me, of whom ye say that he is your Elohim. Yet ye have not known him.
So he said, you say you honor the Father, but you don't know who the Father is. Like our people say they know the Most High. They obey the Most High, but they don't know who the Most High is, because if they did, they will obey what he said. Read.
But I know him.
But he knows him, because he keeps the sayings of the Most High. Read.
And if I should say, I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you.
So he's saying you a liar, because you said you know him, but you don't know him. And if I say I don't know him, then I will be a liar. Because you know him and love him, you're supposed to what? Keep his commandments and guard his sayings. Read.
But I know him, and and keep his sayings.
So I walk in obedience to the Father, but you all don't. Read.
Your father Abraham
Rejoice.
rejoiced to see my day.
Because through Abraham, would have been happy to see Yahushua born. Because that's the blessing that the Most High promised to the people, to the world. In your seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Talking about Yahushua, and then going from Yahushua to who? To Israel. But primarily talking about Yahushua. Because this Yahushua sacrifice is going to cause us to be able to come back to the Most High, to bring the world out of the darkness that it has fallen into. Go ahead.
And he saw it and was glad.
Mm-hmm.
Then said the Jews unto him, Thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
So he said, I am before Abraham was even existing. Meaning he was with the Father before Abraham was born from the beginning. Yahushua was with Yahweh. Go ahead.
Then took.
Actually, that's it. 50, it says 58. So we'll stop at 58. All right, so it's showing you that the connection of Yahushua's role, Yahushua's duty extended before Abraham, before Noah, before these men, these great men were born into the earth. Yahushua's mission was already laid up and set for him to fulfill and to complete. All right. So I think that's about it for this Shabath. Now remember, this is dealing with us, Lecha, or Lecha, getting out from where we are and moving to a higher level, morally, spiritually, mentally, and what else? And physically. You can't stay in the same, nobody in the scripture stayed in the same place physically. There was conquering different areas. And when they stayed someplace physically, like Solomon didn't move around a lot, but he had his men going all around the world. And he did what? What did Solomon give us? What's Solomon's biggest contribution to the nation of Yasharahla was what? Bigger than that. The Proverbs. Because the temple being built is a manifestation of the Proverbs. But the Proverbs isn't a manifestation of the temple, you see. So yeah, he built the temple, that's a great contribution, but then the Most High gave him that wisdom, because the temple is gone now, right? But we still have his wisdom inside the book. And wisdom goes through all things because it's so pure, is what Solomon wrote. Right, so the things that we looking at now, we have to grow and elevate. So we're looking back on those things and saying, man, we came far, we came far from where we at. The Most High wants you to do something greater and bigger than what you're now doing. If you truly a servant, but maybe he got you just staying on a basic level, doing basic stuff, and you basic. Maybe you just a basic Hebrew, doing basic things. You basic. But all of us ain't basic Hebrews. All of us ain't meant to do the same exact job, the same exact way with the same exact people. When some of us meant to go above and beyond the framework that we were given, the framework that we see men doing. Some of us were meant to just sit in the building and have people come to you and learn. Some of us were meant to teach people, sit in the building in another part of the world. All of us ain't meant to just sit in New York, sit in Chicago, sit in Florida, and then that's it. Some of us meant to go beyond those areas then that's what this is about. Lech Lecha, go yourself. Go you. All right, into the land that I'm gonna show you. So you gotta go into a different land that's unfamiliar with you, because there you can see the manifestation of the promises of the Most High in your life. So every step he went, he got into a different form of covenant with the Most High. Abraham. So where are you at? Where's your covenant with the Most High? Is it to just do the things that you're doing and raise your family? That's the most important thing in your life. And just let me just give my kids a good education and a good Gentile American education, and stay in my American style house and keep my captivity job and make my nice money. What are you doing with that money you're making? How's the Most High what are you benefiting? How you benefit from that money on a spiritual level? Who else is benefiting but you? See, it's crazy how people always get a job, then they get another job making more money, but then they still don't have enough to help people that are doing more than they're doing for the Most High with less resources. You see that? Less resources, man. Because this is spiritual moves that the Most High have put certain brothers on. So you got to get up from your land and go to another land where you're going to encounter the covenant and the blessings of the Most High. And your light is going to shine to Israelites that's out of your area, man. And that's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. That's the mission that you have to be on. And your women got to stay honest throughout this time period. We see Sarah being down for Abraham, and then we see Sarah being down for Abraham again. One was with a male that was digging on her, and the other was with a woman that was working for her. Okay? And the Most High intervened in both situations. What does that show? That shows that you are a true woman of the Most High, trying to do the right thing. And then if you humble yourself, if you was wrong, the Most High will send intervention to put you back on the path you're supposed to be on. Or the Most High will intervene for you to correct that situation that you can't see beyond. Okay? So with that, that's it. We just talking now, so it's time to shut it down, right? We got all the understanding. Any questions or comments? Any questions? Shaka? Yeah, sit down. No questions from nobody? I will shut off everything, shut down, then we'll sit here and mid-rush on it. Well, after we finish, then the women can come forth with their questions. All right? Women and some of you brothers might have questions too, you men. All right? All right, so may Yahweh be with you all in Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Remember that the next new moon is going to be the 11/25. The next new moon is 11/25, 11/25/19, and the next observation, the next convocation should be 12/19 for Hanukkah. So 11/25 and 12/19. Hanukkah is 12/19, and the next new moon, the next Kadash, is 11/25 on so-called Monday night. All right? 11/25, 12/19, okay? 11/25, 12/19. Now let's do the memorial of the woman. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came ointment and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when the disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, "To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence by the year's wages, and given to the poor." When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, "Why trouble ye the woman? For she has wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman has done, be told for a memorial of her." So the woman got the oil, spikenard oil, very expensive oil, and poured it on Yahushua, preparing him in the spirit preparing him for his burial, because he was about to die. So wherever the gospel, the good news of Yahushua is supposed to cause us to repent and come back to the Most High and come back to the Torah, all right, and accept the atonement of Yahushua. Wherever we hear about this thing that this woman has done, we're supposed to also hear about what the gospel is. So both of them go hand in hand. All right. So we hear about the woman, we hear about Yahushua, we hear about the woman. That's too high, man. We hear about Yahushua and we hear about the woman, and then we act accordingly. We tell everybody. We act accordingly. We tell everybody about each one. All right. The woman, costly, and pouring that oil out because it's been taken for a lot of money, but she did it for Yahushua. Right? So remember, we got to remember that woman that did that for Yahushua. All right.
I think during daylight savings, go back and check.
Okay. Yeah, so in other words, you're saying it wasn't, well, if they moved back an hour, when it was 6 for us, it was 10 for them, right? So, if it's 6 for us, 10 for them, that means right now it's 6 for us, and it's 9 for them. So if it's 10 for them, it would be 7 for us. Okay. So it said, what was that? So if it was, so it should have been like 6 then.
Okay, I got off at 6.
Yeah. So 6 for us is gonna be, at first it was 6 for, no, it's 5 for us. It was 9 for them. No, 5 for us, no, we had 9 for them. So now when it's 5 for us now it's 8 for them. So now 6 for us is gonna be 9 for them, right? Because 9 hours difference on what's 8. All right? Amadwa Shabath. All right. Amadwa, Barakwa, Yabaraka Kam Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Kwam Yahweh, Kwam Yahushai, Kwam Yasha'Allah. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Yari Mata, Amadwa Shabath. Agwafim Amadkan. All right. Amadwa, Barakwa, Yashamar Kan Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Kwam Yahweh, Kwam Yahushai, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kwam Yasha'Allah. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Yari Mata, Amadwa Shabath, at ease, dismiss. All right. Yeah, they don't do it over here. They got good sense. They can't save no